What is going on, chat? How are we all doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Tribe Talks with your boy Scribble. How you doing, guys? How you doing? Who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? Let me just real quick check all this business out. We've got Lord Megatron, we got Bezad, we got Thorny, we got Juggernaut. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? All good? I hope so. Got my boy Papa Derby in the chat as well. How you doing, Derby? You good, man? It is currently hot as balls in sunny Wales. You can see all this light filtering through. I've got my light over here in the corner, and it is hot. It is hot. I could turn on my aircon to help slightly, but it might be a little bit bad for you people listening at home. I apologize. I'll turn it off when we get Tribe Talk started. Off and proper. Off and proper. The temperature's cooled down in Vancouver. That's good to hear, Bezad. Happy to hear it, buddy. Let's quickly just jump into first in fleet. God, somebody knocked me. This guy, you just been juiced, has knocked me from second to sixth. Like, just as we started this show. What a little douche. Finally been able to catch a live stream. I'm late in the shower. Well, I'm in the shower? What? Alright then, Lion. I mean, that's interesting, buddy. That's interesting. I hope you're thorough in the shower. Keep it clean, you know what I mean? More ways than one. Enjoyed the drunk stream the other day? Yeah. That was something, wasn't it? I'm now out of whiskey, so there's that. Scribble is out of whiskey. Fantastamazing. Just got out of the pool. Oh, and about to start the barbecue. God damn, you've got the day sorted, brother. Barbecues and pool? Throw a couple of beers in there, you got a party. Not in the... Don't throw beers in the pool, obviously. That would be a bit of a waste. We need a new fleet to weed out the douches in Fleet Arena. I mean... Yeah, unfortunately though, it'll just end up being that all the new people get the fleet anyway. Like, my fleet shard is dead, but the people that do play are pretty active. So it's like, if I get it, they'll get it. Did I watch Deadpool? I did, Bezad. I thought it was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool. Thoroughly enjoyed it. No spoilers in the chat, please. There's going to be plenty of people who have not watched it. So keep the spoilers out of the chat for Deadpool. All be hunky-dory. Let's put that in order. You're going again, Bezad? That's awesome, dude. I don't have the time to really justify going to the cinema twice to see the same film, but I would love to. I think I saw Endgame 4 times when that was in the cinema. That was peak. Hey, Ilya, how you doing today? Pew 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 pew. Looks like we've taken over their capital. All your fleets are belonging to us. Do. Always having a little bit of a trouble there when the AI decides to use the enemy Leviathan's first special, and it's like, I don't know how to cope with this. Just has a little bit of think and does nothing. It's great. It's a good time. Is there a character or characters I'd like to see in SWGoH? At the moment, just Crosshair, probably, for now. It was an interesting choice, Lions Den, I'll say that much. Very interesting choice. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out long term. We shall see. Alright, let's go over here. We've climbed in fleet. Let's go see if my boy Karth is in chat. Howdy doodle, Mr. Karthrick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. You gonna do some raiding anytime soon?
Nah, I thought I'd just leave this one out. Alternatively, I thought I would just do it after the stream.
I mean, listen, if you want to push it that far down the road, I don't care.
You say that, but it feels like you care a little.
I mean, but like, honest to God though, like, what's gonna change? We're not gonna hit the max box. You just need your own rewards.
Yeah, I want my own
Then,
rewards though.
then that's all you need to do is like send Gungans in on auto and you get your points. Done did it.
Scribble done did it. Scribble done did it real good. Yeah, no, I'm a team player. I'll get my scores in. I'm just being lazy, that's all. Just being lazy. How's things, Carth? How's things?
Good.
Yeah. Cool.
Love to quit blowing vaults.
I mean, this sounds like a you problem, Carth.
It
Sounds
is a
like
me problem. It is. The relic packs came out today, and I'm trying to get a little ahead of the game on the Ahsoka Rex. So it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess look at you with the animated background.
Yeah, let me change that back.
I think
fancy motherfucker over here. God damn.
Well, let's see who this is. Mr. Wolfie's in the chat. That's what I was about to say. I was about to say I think we should have Wolfie joining soon, and lo and behold, a wild Wolfie appears.
Huzzah!
Huzzah, indeed. Oh, I know the sound of that.
Crack-a-lackin'?
Yeah, well, what's crack-a-lackin' is our cans of beer / lager / IPAs / whatever we happen to be drinking.
Damn straight!
That's what's crack-a-lackin'. But apart from that, I think we've got some talk tribing to do, or something like that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, or something. I know that we do have, a little summit to discuss today. It's not a lot of summit, but it's a little summit. So,
What do you think about tribe talks? Because talk tribe and it seems a little bit awkward, but I think tribe talks.
I think you're onto something there, Wolfie. That sounds like a much better name. Instead of talk tribing. Scribe sometimes talks about stuff with some people as well. That's a really long.
See, I just need the ability to chat, and then I just go on and on forever.
Okay, so we're going to change it to don't give Carth too much time to suck up all the air in the space.
And I need to apologize in advance for the absolute fucking brightness. Because I need to go there because oh god.
We have a different setup. Are you in a different house, Wolfie? Have you moved or are you visiting someone?
I am. Oh, sorry. Other than chat over here, I'm watching my parents' dogs for the week. So I'm here with a couple puppies.
That would be why.
It is all of the brightness. Yeah.
Yes, yes, the brightness seeps in, but it's okay. We can still see your beautiful face, and that's what matters, really. Yay.
But have you noticed something else special about this, Scribe?
No. Don't ask me to notice special things.
How rude.
What is it?
Oh, the stream is a little higher quality.
Oh, is it? Did somebody come in and do a nitro boost or something? Would that somebody be Mr. Carthrick? Thank you, Carthrick.
What happened?
Appreciate you. I think Carth has done nitro boosting on the Discord channel.
Yeah, I server boosted to level 2 to get the high definition Discord stream.
Oh, thank you. I was looking at your background, expecting to see something really profound. Hey, I appreciate
the wall behind
that.
him is gonna fall down, and there's gonna be a fireworks display.
Or
That
my
would've been
house or
cool.
something, and I'd be like, ah!
All those things would have been cool. No, just some more spending.
Just some casual whaling. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I always forget about server boosting. I never really ask it of my community or anything like that. Maybe I should.
Well, I just wanted to see what the impact was, and it doesn't look my camera's because my camera can do 4K, but it's always kind of looks a little half-assed on the stream.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out why. Part of it, I believe, is just because I needed to get it true 4K. I got to have a capture card and then bring it through the computer differently, than just the way it has it. But that being beside the fact.
Yeah, Discord's transmission at the level 1 and below is only 720p, I believe, so it would definitely compress. But yeah, we look pretty now. perhaps even the prettiest. I mean, my camera on the stream doesn't even route through Discord. As you guys know, my camera's not on in Discord. It's only on through the stream, so mine doesn't get compressed. But obviously, there's no way for me to pick up your direct camera links without me being hooked up to your computers.
I would be more concerned if you could.
Get a longer cable.
I mean, we would need some real long fucking cables to make that shit happen.
Look, they got one going across the Atlantic already. Just put another one.
Just
transatlantic
daisy chain on it.
Transatlantic.
Come on.
What could possibly go wrong? I imagine the loss of quality over that distance would probably be quite palpable.
You would need so many substations just to boost the signal enough to make it work.
Yeah.
Like
technicalities. Just do it. Yeah.
I don't think that's outside.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tribe Talks episode 40, where we talk sometimes about Star Wars stuff within Galaxy of Heroes, and occasionally, very infrequently, we talk about other things as well. We're known as the Welshman, the Whale, and the Wolf, and we welcome you. Sit down, crack open a cold one, perhaps. Apart from Karth, who's still abstaining. We call him a quitter, but he's sticking to his guns, so...
I mean...
Yeah. And we can't be too mad, he boosted the server, so... Hey. And yes, Flower, that is indeed frickin' Robin Hood, apparently.
Well,
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
In disguise.
the R9s I dropped today I was not a fan of, but...
I saw you did Jedi Knight Revan on your alt.
Yeah, we needed them for platoons.
What?
The guy who had them went AWOL somewhere in between. And...
Was that Vin?
No.
Or was there someone else?
No, it was somebody who was already in guild.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the situation was, so I'm not going to name because I don't know if it was what the reason was. But anyways,
yeah,
we needed at least 2 of the platoons filled because we were 14 out of 15 on 3 of the 6 on Ring of Kerfee, and so it was just like we needed somebody to take it. And my alt actually has a ton of droid brains. It was just everything else that I was a little shy on. So.
Yeah. So you were just like, I'll take that. I'll take that arrow. I'll be the guy.
I mean, Jedi Knight Luke was not even a hard sell.
Is that right, Little John?
Jedi Knight Revan was the one that kind of sucked.
Oh, I didn't even catch up on the chat there. Apparently, we're just Robin Hood and sidekicks. I'm not sure if I'm Friar Tuck or if you are.
Yes.
One of us is Little John, one's Friar Tuck. I mean, I'm drinking, so I get to be Friar Tuck.
You would be Friar Tuck, and I would be Little John, because you would be on the left.
Yeah.
From the screen's orientation, and then I would be above.
We're men, manly men. We're men in tights.
Oh God, it's gonna be
We
stuck in
roam
my head.
around the forest looking for fights.
Damn right.
Yeah. Anyway.
The one that got stuck in my head again recently was the one from Shrek.
Which one?
Just the where they meet Robin Hood after he saved Princess Fiona.
Oh.
And he does is like when a man in the bush grabs a lady with a tush. That's bad. That's bad. That's very, very bad.
Oh God.
I don't even remember that.
So long.
Oh my God! It like
As you were saying it, I remembered, but goddamn.
Every time that comes up, my brain just gets stuck on it. Just like, we're gonna sing this in your head for a fucking week.
I thought we were gonna go with the I Need a Hero, but
oh,
I Need a Hero.
There's a lot of good ones.
There is.
But anybody who's been to either of our live streams knows that we like the song randomly, so
we like to sing. Are you sure? But I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Allegedly.
I
don't know. I heard that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was drunk.
Yes.
So
that wasn't great. But outside of that, I was okay.
I mean, Jedi Knight Luke is, I'm
he's
not
good.
I'm not saying I'd want a Relic 9 Jedi Knight Luke, but I'm okay with a Relic 8 Jedi Knight Luke.
Like Gas, he
Luke
does gain a little bit of both.
Oh, both?
Yeah.
I thought you said Revan, and then you switched to Luke. I was like, oh,
no. Luke isn't bad because he does have some like use out of like additional protection. Well, but he's got use out of additional protection, right? Like he can utilize that into his recovery and his ramping. So having more doesn't hurt him. But yeah, not like the world. Like it's not like Gas. Gas is a much better Relic 9 attacker than Luke is, but I mean it still is what it is. Revan was just because I already had him at R8 on the account.
It's not like you're R9ing Ugnaught. You know, it's
Yeah,
they're
that's
okay
fair.
characters. You know,
Yeah,
that wouldn't be
weapons-
my first choice, but still.
No, I wouldn't mind Luke or Gas or like even Grand Inquisitor. A lot of those, later platoons that are required aren't terrible.
Mhm.
I probably would have rather bit the bullet on GMY, but just because he's used in so many teams right now that it's
And he's in the raid.
that too. But the raid
And he's
wouldn't have done me any
incredibly
good.
squishy. I
Yes,
mean, a
he
little
is.
extra stats on him would not be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a bad show.
I've
So,
done
yeah,
no
I-
Relic 9s recently. My last one
Control
was
Omega.
Queen Amidala.
Yeah, same. The
So-
Padawan.
Mine was
Master Qui-Gon, and
Snips.
Queen Amidala. The last one
Snips was
for,
my last one.
Relic 9 I've done for a while.
Right.
I've done a bunch of Relic 8s recently.
Nice.
Finally
Yeah.
finished off. I think I have finished off my raid investment.
Yeah,
Finally.
me too. Yeah,
Um,
I'm definitely done.
My most recent score was 12,390,000, something like that. So I got
Nice.
the Okade Booma title.
Woohoo!
Got the title.
And now
I
you can
succeeded.
retire undefeated.
Got too many Relic 8s. Shit
Yeah.
Jedi that I don't need. But you know what? Kit Fisto deserves it.
Oh, well.
So that's a surprising route to go with the GR
Justified.
Jedi instead of like the Separatists.
I already had Luminara at Relic 9 because sub goals. I already had
Oh, okay.
GMY at Relic 8 because
You need him with
Requirements.
Relic 8.
requirement.
Yeah.
I already had Plo Koon at Relic 8.
Negotiator
So, I mean, it was
counter,
just
yeah.
Qui-Gon and Kit Fisto, and Qui-Gon
Yeah.
at least shares stats.
Yeah, Qui-Gon's not a bad one to do. Actually, I'm actually happy with the ticking him up to R8 for the raid because of the team that he is
be
Omicron
worse.
supports.
Hmm.
So getting those Rob stats. I mean, it's not a lot because he doesn't gain a ton of physical damage off of it, but it's still better.
It's something. It could be worse, so I'll take it. And then Kit Fisto was the only one who was just like, it's Kit Fisto! Yay!
Talk about one of,
Jedi
like-
with the tentacle hair thing.
He is hands down the most annoying part of the Lumi team for that raid. Like his kit is so infuriating. It drives me up a wall.
The random turn meter gains.
Yeah, the 20% chance to gain a turn meter and then like the double attack is so random as well. It's just
But
like
that's nice.
I mean, but unless you go like when you start the fights and he gains turn meter out of a counter attack and then he goes before you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Or there's just so many things that make it a pain in the butt. Like it's not always bad, but it sometimes can be inconvenient.
I like
It's like I just really want CG to
Tell
give
us
me
how
an
you really feel.
explanation on why they reorder turn meter every other phase, like every other
So
wave.
fucking infuriating. Oh my
They-
god.
Because
they will
I
not.
can't
Reset.
I can't tell you how many times I failed the Queen Amidala trio
Yeah.
because Queen goes first. That second wave, Queen goes first,
Mhm.
and then Qui-Gon goes, and then the command droid takes a turn and cleans all my buffs off.
Yeah, that's
like-
always tons of fun.
Honest to God, they don't even need to fix that part of it. Just fix the part where he can't give himself a bonus turn. That's it. Just do that change, and that makes the RNG fall off the freaking map, and that would be fantastic. I would love to have that. But
Who knows? Who knows? All we know is that they're supposedly looking into the difficulty at the lower tiers at the moment, and hopefully,
which is fair. I mean,
I'm
you shouldn't
like-
struggle to score 300,000 points.
I'm about 100% certain they fixed that. There or thereabouts. That it's
Yeah.
going to be fixed for the lower tiers. So
I believe it's fixed with this next update. If I wanna say, because I was reading their Trello board the
Yeah.
other day,
Mhm.
because they do have the tank cron getting fixed next update. So thank God for
the
that.
tank crong. Oh really? Oh good. Oh thank God
Yeah.
for that. Oh my
Yeah.
God, because that is
So-
horrendous.
The tank cron was twofold. It wasn't just the fact that it was recovering the 100% protection every time. It was also
Doing
giving
the
them
ramp ring, right?
they have the 50% increase every time as well. So you were getting hit twice. So it made it harder and harder to kill
Yeah.
those characters the more times it procced.
Which is incredibly frustrating when it's on something like Galactic Legend Leia. You're like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
or GM or JML or
Yeah.
Pure Satan.
Malgus.
Yeah.
Oh god, Malgus. God, yeah.
Well, yeah, it was literally. I think I baited a lot of people into trying to use Cal versus Malgus this last week.
Yeah.
Because I put the crappy team that you can use really easily. You know, it's just Talon and Marauder.
Yeah.
And then they go instant defeat Malgus. He's got the tank revive level 3.
He comes back.
And then they'll never ramp enough damage to kill him. Every time they knock him below 100% health, it just came right back. And I'm like, well, I wasn't playing, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just gross. Like, that's the sort of thing that they really need to fix as soon as possible. I know you're saying it's fixed and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of one that's so game-breakingly bad that it should never be the case.
Yeah.
In live environment. But there we go. Because it's one of those things that completely decides GACs, and that's not fun. That's not fun.
2 full weeks of GAC for that bug to be active. That's pretty significant.
Well, was it active last week?
It's always active since the Cron has been around, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't pay attention to the first week of 3s.
Yeah.
I guess there weren't. I wasn't fighting that many of them, I guess, or the teams that had them, I was using instant defeats that couldn't be revived from, and I didn't worry about it. I went pretty light on GAC defense last week, so.
It'll make no difference to see if he goes against them. So still, like, instant keep them dead, but not prevent.
Yeah,
any of the other off-meta counters,
yeah, I don't know if your capture's not as good or what, but you're in and out quite a bit there, Wolf.
Yeah, good enough. Your mic is cutting in and out.
Just the mic?
Yeah, it's just the mic. Your video feed is fine. It was just it was almost like the thresholds of your noise gate was cutting you off. I'm not sure if that's actually what's happening, but it sounds like it was cutting you out every couple of words there.
It's possible.
He just needs to just sit with the microphone like an inch from his face.
Well, I mean, that's how I'm usually like this, all the way up on my microphone.
Well, yeah, mine is literally off screen by like a couple inches.
I don't know about you guys, but I always route my my audio goes through my headset, so I can hear what I sound like. So like, I just actually really like the sound of my voice the closer it is to the microphone, because it sounds so much nicer. It's got that radio voice.
It depends what kind of mic you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you need to be farther away or closer up.
Yeah, this is
like a dynamic or something.
This is a condenser mic, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I need the closer is better, generally speaking.
Just talk straight into it.
Oh, see, Karth, I mean, you made me feel things there. Ooh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I could have the playback in my ears too, but
if you get it, what was I going to say? Shit. Sorry. If you get the playback, but there's like a slight delay, it's so hard to actually finish a sentence. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that, but like a half-second delay of hearing yourself. Yeah, it's exactly like that. It sounds like you're trying to interrupt yourself, and it's just like, my brain cannot comprehend the rest of this sentence right now because I'm talking to myself.
Can you shut up so that I can talk?
Stop.
Can I just shut the fuck up for 1 second?
Yeah. Hear that?
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Should be good.
Yeah. No, you sound much better now, actually, Wolfie. You're not cutting off, so good business.
Yeah, it must have just been the gate.
Yeah, we're good. I forget though. What were we talking about?
We were talking
sports
stuff with Datacron,
right?
Datacron stuff.
Sports ball.
The tank revive thing.
Yeah,
it was fucked up for last week, and
we're kind of done with that though. I don't. They still don't have an answer on the alignment thing. Honest to God, I don't think they fix it now.
I don't think they're going to fix that one at all.
Well, because like we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago now, is the problem that they have with the alignment is that they have one of the roles that will be in direct conflict because they didn't put any dark side healers in the cron set.
Okay.
And so healer can only go light side.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to be in conflict with what it can choose if you get a dark side alignment on your healer crons.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said they only fixed it for when you're rolling it up, not for when you're re-rolling. So.
No, apparently not. I thought that was the case as well, but I was told I was wrong.
Yeah, they haven't
said
fixed...
That's what they said they were gonna do, right? What that was the what the fix was.
They
haven't
haven't
rolled many crons since then.
They
so I don't
haven't.
know.
They haven't fixed anything with it either direction. Is that the alignment level 3 is supposed to dictate what your level 9 is, but in the healer section there is only light side level 3s or level 9. Sorry. So you could only technically do light side on the level 3, which puts it in conflict with core mechanics.
Yeah.
Same thing with the.
It just means it's going to be a real pain in the ass if you want to roll a specific level 3.
Oh yeah, because you can.
Just how it is.
You're going to spend all day trying to fight the light side iterations.
Yeah.
But yeah, they still don't have a fix on that. I think we might get something by the time 5 starts, but I wouldn't,
Yeah.
Yeah. There are dark side healers
there's a couple.
exist.
Yeah.
Talia is one of them. Old
Daka?
Daka's another.
Seventh sister.
Seventh sister. Yeah.
Tuscan shaman.
Yeah, someone's pulled up
Tuscan
the healer
shaman?
tag. Okay.
Indeed, I have.
There's 4. There's 4 of them, but
There's
they do
4
exist.
of them. Ah.
But
Shane?
they didn't do it. Yeah, they didn't do anything for that, which kind of makes sense though, because they're kind of wanting to save some of the nicer stuff for the next Datacron set, because we're gonna we'll probably pivot back to the original style after this when Luthan drops.
Yeah, I'll be kind of
so,
hopeful that they do. So I mean, next Datacron set, it would make sense if there's like Night Sisters, maybe Imperial Remnant, maybe a little bit of the Rebel Fighters.
Oh, dude, I'm like stoked for Luthan.
I could not care less. I'll be honest. Like, I'm
I
so
hear you.
uninfused. He's the last thing on my mind right now. I'm
Dude,
like, I'm going to unlock
that's-
him, obviously, but
Low key, that's
I
why
have
I'm so
forgotten
excited
several
for him
times.
though, because I think so many people are gonna skip this with all the other stuff going on. That he's gonna be I mean, no, I just mean like the investment level. No one's gonna really put the relics on them or the Omicrons or anything else, because all of the stuff coming out for Ahsoka and Baylan is gonna be the priority.
The only information that I need off you about this, Karth, is which Rebel fighters do I need for Luthan?
Baze, Chirrut, Kyle,
All right,
and
go
then
fuck yourself.
Luthan and Saw.
You think Chirrut will be on that team?
Well, I mean, they're the core. Chirrut,
Baze, yes.
Chirrut and Baze are the core of the Saw team, because you need the hots from Chirrut's unique.
God damn it! I cannot gear an entire team right now.
Hey, no one's but that's the thing. That's why I think it's gonna get slept on, and then it's gonna be one of those teams just like it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Make it work with like Kal Katarn and Cara Dune or something.
Oh, you can. You definitely can make it work, but Baze gives you the pre-taunt, and Chirrut gives you the unique to put more hots out, because a lot of Saw's kit is predicated on the number of hots on your team.
God damn it.
So Chirrut does it passively whenever they get hit. They stack hots, and then you convert hots to offense and speed. And then Luthan just takes all of that and dials it up to 11.
I don't know how I'm going to fit this in. I genuinely
honestly, I don't think people. I don't think it's going to be worth it. Under the one guy is that unless they get super nutty cron support, I don't think it's going to be like as meta as we would need it to be like it needs a GL counter.
I managed to coast through the Chirrut cron without Chirrut. Maybe I can do it again.
I think you can, because it's the problem of where we play GAC right now, is that there is so much going on in the upper levels that it doesn't really matter what you put down. If I go GL light on defense, I can usually clear your board no matter what you set with a one tap, unless I just get like, on tilt and start throwing stuff at the wall.
Unless I'm playing your account.
Well, I mean, at this junction, if you can get pissed on Friday nights, then that won't be a worry.
God, listen, it's Friday night. I need to proverbially let my hair down. All right, because I don't actually have any hair on my head, so I have to like metaphorically let my hair down. And
you just gotta let out the braids in your pubes. That's all.
They went bald as well, so it's just.
Just ass hair left, and chest hair and ass hair. That's all we got.
Chest and crack is all I've got left. Not cocaine, guys. Crack hair. We're talking about butt hair, not Class A drugs. Okay, get your mind out of the gutter or into it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, into it.
Yeah. Face first. Face first. What the fuck?
Face down. Fucking tastes like coffee grounds ground into my face now.
Jesus Christ.
Little Reliant K for all you out there.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. So yeah, I don't know, like with everything coming around, I can't see a hell of a lot of people investing.
Oh,
if
no,
I'm
I
having
can't
a hard
either.
time figuring it out, and I'm a pseudo whale. The average person is going to have to sacrifice something, and I don't want to sacrifice Ahsoka Tano or Balin Skull for the likes of Luthan. I just don't.
Well, that's fair, but I mean, I think Ahsoka's, still 3 months away.
Yeah.
And I think Balin Skull is roughly the same timetable. I would still like to believe that he's coming after Ahsoka releases, but that could go either way. And I'm still anticipating a legendary event for the Night Sisters. So but I think the Great Mothers will be TW Amis. Because we haven't had a triple TW Ami in a while, and I feel like
Plus, Night Sisters have already got some pretty decent Ami.
tons. Well, and Morgan got a GAC Ami, which kind of cements to me that they're gonna push Great Mothers to TW, and yeah, that's gonna be a fun team. I'm just interested to see what the leadership adds, because I know what Morgan's doing right now, and the Spirit just clapping folks for casual like 100k basics is getting kind of out of control.
Yeah, it doesn't really work right now, though, does it? Like the off-brand Morgan Elsbeth Night Sisters, you can't do much with it right now. Is that right?
Asajj Ventress lead in 3s with Spirit, and Morgan is doing some really annoying things, especially if you've got like an attacker cron.
Yeah.
Because
Spirit double tapping.
Well, because this is where Asajj leads strips TM. It is 50% chance to proc, but once it procs, it can't be resisted.
Nice. And
then Spirit strips turn meter on a basic, and then gains turn meter on a basic as well. So if you double tap, you're pushing down 40% turn meter and gaining 40% turn meter. So it loops pretty hard. Yeah. But then when you gain offense, Morgan's giving them ramping offense on top of that. When you gain foresight, then Morgan grants Spirit more offense, and she's already nutty, and that special ignores armor, so it gets out of control really hard and fast. So in 3s there's a use for her. In 5s there won't be. Morgan's dead weight in 5. Same thing with Night Trooper. Night Trooper has some mechanics that are fun, but
I think they're just kind of waiting for the rest of their synergies to come out, right? They can't make Morgan too powerful before Great Mothers is even out. They can't make Night Trooper's getting Death Trooper and Enoch, and presumably is eventually going to GL Thrawn. So it's like a lot of their kit is probably gated behind synergies that are yet to be released. So
yeah, right. Though speaking of Death Trooper Peridia,
he's coming soon.
He's coming this week, and at the same time, we should get the next block of Ahsoka requirements.
I would imagine so. Probably around when we get his kit reveal. Probably when we get his kit reveal.
Yeah, probably when, if they're smart and they announce it. Otherwise, it will probably come with the update inadvertently, because it kind of has to. Unless they just leave it blank until they decide to release it.
Yeah, but I imagine we'll get the requirements. This will be the second batch of requirements, right? And then I have a feeling that we're going to pivot back over to Great Mothers after that, instead of releasing Enoch.
I feel like that's I don't know about that, but I think they would release Enoch before they did anything with the Great Mothers, and then require these characters for the event as well.
Oh, you're still on the idea that Great Mothers is a legendary.
I mean, I have a hard time with the sales pitch of a team that's supposed to be the power level of Gungans without a legendary unit.
Mm-hmm. It's a fair argument.
That's where I sit on it, because especially since you're uplifting basically 3 trash tier characters. Like, I mean, there's a reason why Morgan's unique is the size of a small book, calling out the specific mechanics of almost everybody. But Talia needs a lot of support if she's going to be a good healer for the team.
Yeah.
Because otherwise she's a one-trick pony, and that's it. I cleanse all of our debuffs, and then I heal and give some turn meter, and then 4 turns later I'll do it again.
It's
not
that it's bad, but it's not a win condition, is it? It's not
sustaining though. It's like Juhani's taunt on the EP Starkiller team. It's like, oh yay, a 4-turn or a 4-turn or a 2-turn taunt for a 4-turn cooldown.
On 4-turn cooldown, which is insane.
Juhani,
I have taken her to Relic 1. She's been gear 9 since Dark Revan came out. I took her to Relic 1.
TW requirement?
Aren't they? Yeah.
TW requirement.
Well, I haven't dropped the TW on me just yet. I was told.
Until she's R5, I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, well, exactly. My next one is actually going to be Trench. Trench is basic, and then it's going to be Juhani after I do a GAC on me in between. But I was just there. I was just like, I actually have a really big gear horde right now because I just do. So I thought, she's an older character. She probably doesn't require that much Kyrotech, and I've got like 2,000 of each Kyrotech. I think I can spare the gear right now. So I just took her up to Relic 1.
Well, there we go.
And just left her there because I'll circle back around to her once I'm done with whatever's coming. So
I want to play test Luthan on my main account, and then my alt will determine from there if I'm gonna do much investment on that. Because by the time Luthan drops, I will have safely 2 Omicrons set aside for him.
I'm gonna have fuck all.
But I still have 2 TW Omnis that are required that the guild would like me to still do, which is Hera and DDK.
Wow, that's really weird. Because that's actually some TW Omnis that I have.
Well, this account has like straight out like had like no Phoenix investment outside of Hera and Rex, and so it was like with everything constantly dropping with the new raid and everything else, it was just I didn't want to push it. But now there's another Kron that's got basically going to make Phoenix pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, like, all right.
I've actually rolled that Sabine Datacron yet. I haven't had a chance to test it because my squad arena is just full of JMK Cat Padme squads, and like you could do no testing against that fucking team.
The problem is,
whatever you do, don't send it against Inquisitors.
Yeah,
I used it, and I was like, "Oh, it's a great idea! I'm gonna get like bonus turns." And then the second I pressed battle, I was like, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Rex is not gonna go second. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!" And Sabine took a turn and got a bunch of counters, and Rex didn't daze everyone. So I was just like, "Oh no, sadness ensued."
With their current Datacron, it's not gonna work versus Inquisitors.
What if you dropped someone to put a pre-taunt in?
It does. That's not the problem. The problem is that Sabine is moving ahead of Rex.
She's going before Rex days.
So you're gonna AoE a team that can now counter you, and when they counter with a
basic, though, like you open up Sabine's basic and then you wait.
Yeah, but then you get no turn meter or any mass assisting.
You would get turn meter because you get purged, and that's going to give you debuffs, which is going to trigger the.
But you already got those because you start with the purge at the start of the battle.
Yeah, but when you attack,
the point more was that it's
purge again. I'm getting confused.
No, because Rex has to cleanse it.
The point is more
first.
just like you want Rex going second so he can do and daze everybody.
Yeah.
Having Sabine go after them doesn't give you any benefit whatsoever for that battle. They shouldn't be taking any turns aside from that first turn, regardless. So extra bonus turns is just like
Reva's 100% counter chance, and then calling the other Inquisitors to assist. It kills Sabine off very quickly. And then
which is why I was suggesting a pre-taunt.
And you bring the pre-taunt dies on GI's opening move.
Yeah. GI
does his torture thing, and he calls everybody to assist, and the pre-taunt dies.
Yeah. Okay.
So it doesn't really impact the Inquisitor fight so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, fair enough. But I imagine if you just didn't have the Sabine Cron, then like you just have to attack level 6.
Don't try and get clever.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, you would probably want the support Cron over the attacker Cron because you would rather have Chopper, Hera, and Rex.
Captain Rex ramping
the stats.
It is crit damage, isn't it?
Attackers
get 10% crit damage.
Yeah.
It sounds like it'll be kind of nutty versus Jabba. I imagine it probably makes Jabba a lot more reliable in 5s. It won't work in 3s, obviously, but
3s
no. The ability to get Sabine broken loose faster will really help. But I think the problem is that Jabba, the attacker Cron on Jabba is going to cause a lot of heartache too.
Yeah, it's
because
annoying.
you get. Well, it's so many attacks out of turn that, like, when Bausch is hitting 3 or 4 times every time she's called to assist, is annoying. But then in 5s, you'll have Lando on top of it. And so once Lando gets his double tap, it's going to just be, if they focus the wrong person, you eat it in the shorts.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with knowing the viability versus certain comps because there's just too many things that you can throw out in front of it that are gonna cause heartache.
Yeah, it's always the fun of new Crons, isn't it? It's like find out what's absolutely busted out of its ass. And Jabba is one of those GLs that always tends to have something that just ends up being kind of nutty and annoying.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's something as simple as the double, the attacker Cron over there, making Leia just sit there and take 10 minutes to do anything.
Yeah, timing out because she just attacks for 4 turns.
Legitimately, like, I tried to send a Lord Vader versus her one time just for shits to see what would happen. And it was just like, I got maybe 1 ult off because she was just sitting there attacking, and it was insane.
She was like, I'm going to stick my stick in the ground, and then I'm going to throw a grenade at you. Yeah. And I'm going to pick up my stick, and then I'm going to stick it back in the ground, and I'm going to throw a grenade at you. And then I'm going to pick up my stick and stick my stick in the ground and throw a grenade. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, Bausch, just like get it over with it. Come on.
When she's doing 4 attacks per attack, it takes a long time.
Well, then she also, on top of that, gains that ramping true damage.
Was it the actual?
No, it's not ramping.
Defense pen.
It's
defense pen, right?
She gets ramping defense penetration, but when an attacker attacks out of turn, they deal true damage, which can't be evaded. Mm-hmm. And so she's dealing true damage 4 times anytime a Hutt Cartel ally. Attacks. It's like
a guy with deadly foe, whatever it is, right? Oh, well, when she gets assists and stuff like
deadly
that.
Bluff, yeah.
That's it.
And she won't be critting Lord Vader very much, so she'll be getting tons and tons of defense pens. So no matter what it is, they're going to wreck you. Like there's some cards that just do very well.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong though. I'm pretty sure.
You're wrong.
Okay, fine. It was good chat. You know, you pose a solid argument. No, I'm pretty sure that true damage can never miss. So.
It can.
True damage can miss.
True damage can.
Under what circumstances?
It just doesn't crit.
I know it doesn't crit. I've never seen true damage miss, to my knowledge.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's unmissable.
Under any circumstance.
I think a lot of them is the
courage is true damage, and that can get evaded.
Courage needs to. The attack needs to actually trigger to get rid of the stacks of courage in order to do the damage, though. So
I just mean like.
I think
other people are doing true damage.
I think
things that
her true damage can be.
Yeah, like JML specifically says it can't be evaded. I mean, stuff like that. So I mean, if it couldn't be evaded normally, they wouldn't call it out as can't be evaded.
Completely. Side note to that: have you all seen? It was on my GAC recently, but stunned characters can now evade.
That was a fun one.
That's a great mechanic.
That was great. That was real cool. I was like, oh, just you're a stunned character, which if you looked at the description of stun, it literally says they can't evade, and then they evaded. I was like, oh, okay, well, screw you. But I'm still certain that true damage can't be evaded. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that's because in every instance of true damage,
It says it can't be evaded.
It states it can't be evaded.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I mean that predicates the one predicates the other. I'm just going through the tunes I can think of that do true damage frequently. I'm gonna go take a look at DDK because he's the only one I can think of now that.
Need to have a look at.
He could definitely be evaded.
SWGoH is usually brilliant for that.
So.
Oh yeah.
DDK is basic. If the target has higher speed than Droideka, which is not hard,
yep,
it deals true damage, but it doesn't say it can't be evaded. So
that can definitely be evaded.
Yeah,
so that one evades all.
His
the time.
basic can definitely be evaded.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I feel like I need to test that.
The destructive armament, his special, that attack says it can't be evaded.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess, is that the majority of true damage states outright that it can't be evaded.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But there are some instances where it can be.
That's probably why I'm thinking it can't be evaded, because like almost all of them state that it can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time it calls out as we just keep saying can't be evaded too many times. God damn it.
Yeah.
You know, when you say a word too many times, it starts to feel like you're saying like, is this how this word's supposed to be pronounced? It just sounds funny now.
No,
right?
Left, right, up, down.
Whistling birds. Can whistling birds be evaded?
No.
No. Actually, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, Rex's aerial advantage. That's a really good call, Mashers.
Yeah, Rex's can.
Rex's aerial advantage. Isn't that true damage?
It deals additional true damage.
It has additional true damage.
That can absolutely be evaded.
But I'm pretty sure that the big damage is not the true damage. He does two instances.
Rex's hit can absolutely be evaded.
It can be. Yeah, it can be, definitely.
Yeah.
But sometimes the attack can be evaded, and I swear I've seen actual damage instances hidden. Hang on, so yeah, physical damage to the enemy plus bonus damage equal to 25% of the max health. There's no true damage on Rex's aerial advantage.
It is
percentile health effect, basically. Yeah.
Remember, Carl, you don't 501st do extra damage when they get evaded?
Isn't that Echo? Not Echo, sorry.
Echo.
Echo's thingamabob when it is on his unique, isn't it?
Yeah, his unique.
Yeah,
whenever
when they evade
attack from Clone Trooper, he deals extra damage equals 20% of the max health. Can't be evaded.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not true damage again, is it?
Well, that is true damage. It's
okay, so
max health.
Which isn't true damage.
Yeah, that's
max
just percentile
health.
health. Yeah, just percentile
health damage. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
Bad Batch do true damage though.
Yeah, and that does trigger when they evade. 100% it does, because I swear I've seen someone do an AoE there, and the true damage still ticks.
Well, there might be extra, can't be evaded clauses over there.
Yeah,
again, I think
could well be.
Most of them call them out. Yeah.
I just need to see who is it on Hunter's leader or something.
Leadership. When Bad Batch allies use an ability while they have defense up, they deal true damage to all enemies.
Okay, that one doesn't say. So maybe that one can be evaded. Maybe I'm just going crazy.
I'm assuming. Well, yeah. I would have to go test stuff out now.
Yeah,
I feel like Omega's left out in my roster. She's my only non-R8.
Yeah, she's left out in mine. she's only Relic 9.
Get wrecked. Wait.
Yeah, just got a casual Relic 9 Omega that never sees any use.
And then Relic 5 everything else.
No, my Echo is Relic 8 for long ago operation requirement. I wouldn't mind having full R8 or even R7 Bad Batch, I guess, but
the only problem with them is that it screws up the Marauder counters and fleet to have them that maxed out.
That's a real pain.
Which annoys me to no end. That's the way
7 they do fine. But
but
have them to fuck it up.
Past that, not by much. Because I got Tech and Hunter on my account are Relic 8, and then Wrecker's Relic 9, and I moved before most fleets. Not before, sorry. It's who is it? I moved before. I don't remember anymore.
Is it Anakin?
I don't remember. It could be Anakin. I don't.
It's
you should move before Anakin, anyways. I don't remember.
If you're going before IG, I mean, you want to. You want to do that because you want to put the taunt over there. What are you even talking about?
I gotta go back and play it. It changes how the counter's supposed to work, but I would need to review the information.
I am reviewing.
I don't remember I hardly use the counter anymore, so I don't really worry about it. But I do know that it does screw up the lineup with the speeds because he's too fast.
I've definitely heard that before, but I don't know if I've just heard that from you, Carl. So,
I mean, that's fair.
So I don't know why, because I don't use the negotiator that frequently, truth be told.
It sits on defense like 99% of the time for me, so
that's fair. I think I have it as a backup fleet, because you know how I take fleet in Grand Arena. I say fuck this. I'm just taking everything to offense because I get grumpy when my fleet don't get full clear.
Yeah. That was my round one. I lost 15 banners in fleet because of just dog shit RNG.
Oh, nice.
It's like, hey, look, the profundity counter scored 67 when it should have scored 60 or 75.
Yeah. Son of a gun. Yeah, so it's good times. So I mean, I'm gonna have to, for my own peace of mind, figure out what the fuck's going on with true damage.
I think we've discussed this before.
What, true damage?
First, this is not the first time. Yeah, this has come up. I remember this coming up before, at least like on stream or something like that. Trying to.
Eventually, we run out of topics to talk about. We just get hung up on mechanics and argue. mostly with me being wrong, but that's okay. My ego can take it. It can't.
Occasionally.
Yeah. So yeah, how about Death Trooper Peridia then? He's coming Thursday.
We got an image. We got no kit.
And it looks
got a
sick.
picture.
I'm interested to see. They look like they've kind of like mimicked the original Death Trooper kit to a degree.
Have they?
Well,
I didn't
just
pay that much attention.
the skills kind of seem reminiscent, right? Like you don't know if we have a death mark, but you have the grenade ability kind of again with the.
Yeah,
it's the nibble one, which honest to God, I think they're leaning
gave a chuckle.
I think they're leaning a little too much into the zombie thing because, but whatever. I mean, that's just a personal slant on the.
I thought it was cute. I was like, just a nibble.
But they have a grenade. They have just a nibble, that could lead to some sort of marked or increased damage ability. That would be like Death Mark, but it feels very reminiscent of the original Death Trooper kind of kit without seeing everything.
Well, we already have probably take extra damage ability. We already have the take extra damage ability from
from Blight. Yeah,
well, I mean, we had like the Blight and has more. I remember more interactions with that.
Could add more Blight.
When we had the road ahead, they said that Death Trooper had unique synergies with Night Trooper, and it was introducing something called Decay, or they were implying that it had something called Decay. So I imagine that grenade, which is called Necrotic Tissue, probably applies Decay maybe to characters with Blight, and that's, I don't know, that probably exacerbates how nasty Blight is on the enemy.
Or they just take damage every turn like Plague does.
Could be.
Because Blight only deals damage from the interaction with that one special.
Night Trooper? Yeah.
Night Trooper.
Yeah. Maybe necrotic damage makes them, I don't know, gradually saps away their stats or something, lowers all their mastery. Maybe it lowers mastery, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Their thing in the road ahead basically just goes Death Peridia, attacker that loves Blight, interacting with Blight, and can be used on a Night Sister squad. But sure.
Does it not say anything about Decay?
No, Enoch is Decay. Leader of the pyramid, equipped with a ruthless nature, Decay.
Sorry. Okay, ignore me then. I was misremembering who they were talking about. It's Enoch.
It was like 5 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, and I'm just not organized, so I don't, I don't re-look at any of this shit.
Hey, I just go back and open the original source file.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That would kind of make sense.
Helps a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. So, Death Trooper next. Do we think we're getting Enoch after?
I think so. I think that they're gonna get that squad out and have it in threes because it's part of Ahsoka's requirements.
Oh yeah, it kind of makes sense actually, doesn't it? Because we know we're getting 2 dark side units, and that would imply the image that we had for Ahsoka, for the Ahsoka hub. It shows all the characters. It's got 2 dark side characters in one of the sections. So if Death Trooper Peridia and Enoch are those, they should be both part of that second set of requirements. So maybe we don't get the requirement leak this time. It waits until Enoch
get
is
them
out.
for a little bit.
It's possible, but it's been almost a month since they
Mm.
released the stuff on Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
And with the 4 hubs, I would assume they would release one batch of requirements a month. So
if they just didn't bring it into game, maybe, because I think they like to have the actual characters in game when they add them to the actual journey itself in game. They'd have to hold off on the in-game update.
Yeah, that's a possibility if they wait till Enoch. But I mean,
they like to show like the actual character. They don't want to just say like, "Hey, here's 3 of the requirements, and this one's blank because we haven't fucking added them yet." Like, they need to add them once they have all the requirements actually in the game.
Sure.
So, yeah, Scribe is right. They would have to hold off for that one.
I mean, they don't have to.
No, they could just
have him
as
put it
part
in
of
the
another
game,
set.
but they could just
They could just have the text file sit there.
Yeah.
You just can't do anything with it until he drops. But the assumption is that they'll release one batch of requirements every month up until her release. So we should get the next batch sometime in August. Well, this would technically release at the very end of July, but the Ahsoka hub came out on July 2nd. So August 2nd would be a Friday, which they're not going to really do much about that. But the assumption is we get one batch of characters a month, and so that would be August, September, and then October, and then the idea would be probably sometime in November we get her.
To answer Adahan in chat, is not the first set we got 2 dark side characters, Night Trooper and Asajj? Yes, but as part of the Ahsoka hub, the second set also had 2 dark side and 2 light side. So, which is implying it's going to be Death Trooper, Peridia, and Enoch, because they said those are definitely requirements. And all the rest of the requirements are all light side on that hub at this moment. So it implies that there are no other dark side characters required. So this second set has to be Night Trooper and Enoch.
Anyone and everyone who keeps saying that Balin's going to be required for Ahsoka,
it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Unless they were just being incredibly misleading with the Ahsoka hub, which is okay.
Well, I don't know why they would.
No,
but,
do I.
That just doesn't make any sense for them to do that. But
yeah,
the ship is the funny one to me because I feel like the ship is like a dead giveaway, but at the same time, it's kind of like who cares?
It's Ahsoka Starfighter.
Like 98%.
It's gonna be kind of funny if it's just like not a dead giveaway and just like placeholder. Ha, we gotcha. And then just, like,
I don't know where
Jedi
they would
ship.
Yeah,
it would have to be like her Jedi ship or like New Republic ship, whatever, from like the Ahsoka show or something.
Give me the Twilight. Give me the Twilight. That would be amazing.
That one, yes, I'd be okay with that.
With General Skywalker and
Gas, her and Gas.
As the pilot, I would flip my lid for that.
But that would poo-poo on everybody's theories of getting a gas capital ship, and they'd be all so sad.
But Gas's best move with a capital ship repeatedly throughout the Clone Wars was blowing them up.
Seems like a good solution.
Do that a lot.
Oh yeah,
he went kamikaze a couple times.
Oh yeah, more than once. Has he sacrificed
hang on. He blows up his own capital ship. He is not a good capital ship guy.
He uses it as a diversion. He commits a lot of war crimes to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like things that are specifically against the Geneva Convention.
One of the times he
there is no Geneva Convention in Star Wars, right?
Yeah, he rigs a capital ship full of like highly volatile fuel to send into a separatist blockade, and while under the guise of pretending that he's going to try to surrender to them.
Oh yeah, that's full crime right there.
He crashes the ship into the Lucre Hulk, and then it detonates, and then it blows a massive hole in the blockade.
Gas was like, all's fair in love and war.
And then in another one, he sacrifices a command ship to basically become a meat wagon while they use it for basically a shield to hide behind. And then they launch a starfighter assault from the top side, because they turn a negotiator sideways so that the bottom part of the ship is facing the attacking forces. Okay. And then that way they can launch the fighters, because on the what are they called? What type of what's the name? The Venerators. The Venerators hangars on the top deck, right? And so they can fly out. So they fly out and then they circle around and do their thing. But yeah, Gas on multiple occasions blows up his own.
Yeah,
his
he
own
just yeah. I mean, I think
fakes a surrender and then goes and attacks after faking the surrender. I
Hey,
mean, I
in
think Kenobi
his
does that
defense,
too.
in his defense, Kenobi does it too. Except for Kenobi does it sooner. Kenobi does it in the very first
movie.
In the movie, yeah. in the very first like Clone Wars thing, he fakes the surrender, and then Anakin gets into position and wipes out the Separatists in on that place.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, they
Totally cool.
they don't care about war crimes at all, do they? They just like
No. We like to use deceit and lies and no honor among men as our rules for.
I mean, they're fighting droids mostly.
Well, in the defense of them, though, is you look at what the Separatists are
don't
willing
believe
to
the
do.
propaganda.
Yeah, if you look at what the Separatists are willing to do and things of that nature, it's like I don't think they even deserve like fair fighting terms because they do some pretty messed up things throughout the war. I mean, like they're testing weapons on backwater planets to see their impact on like organic life.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
just
pretty
like,
fucked up.
yeah, they're just annihilating entire continents of the planet, just testing.
Oh, they're just committing genocide. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all cool.
Oh, but
Yep.
we got to see if it works versus organics and not versus our droids. So let's go test it on this planet real quick, okay?
We only care about droid lives. We don't care about organic matter.
Well, they wanted to have a weapon that didn't that wouldn't damage their droids to launch in against organic targets. So, yeah, anyways.
I mean, that sounds like the perfect thing to test against droids. It's like, we don't think this is gonna hurt you, so let's shoot you.
Well, no, they put the droids on a backwater planet with not an advanced species, and they put the droids down there, and then they fired it on everybody to see what would happen.
And
so
the
they were
droids
like,
yeah,
that
we're
both
okay.
Annihilates the civilization and the droids survive. We're like, we let the droids survive, but let's also kill a bunch of people in the process.
yeah,
Make sure that works.
because testing isn't fun if it's not real. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
We only
right.
No
use
control
live
environment.
test environments here. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, it destroyed all of this grass and trees and stuff, but how do we know that this fire is going to burn people? We don't! We gotta try it!
Let's find me some people.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yes,
Anyways,
yeah, so
Then they
they
had a
weren't
big old
exactly,
barbecue.
a lot of Clone Wars stuff was super like the Separatists did a lot of bad things.
Some messed
But I
up
think
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is for sure.
But anyways.
But anyways, yeah.
Good show, check it out.
Yeah, I should
Speaking
probably check all that stuff out.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Separatists doing messed up stuff, you see that
Oh, the
B1.
B1? Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That'll get fixed faster than you can sneeze, I think.
The thing is, though, is I don't know how they fix that quickly. Because
They ban B1. It's just like,
Well,
we can't
exactly.
use B1.
that's what
The
I
thing-
think they'll do.
The thing
honestly.
is nobody fucking uses B1 anyway, because he just gets Shrek'd, usually. So
Yeah, there's no way to revive them, and there's
They-
a bunch of other.
Well, it's,
they
it's
might as
getting
well
to
just
that
not
point.
let him used, right? So
Well, it's just, if you can get to that point where you can go and stack up your stacks, then you get it.
Yeah.
That's
It's-
your RNG then.
It's
Yeah.
what
If it takes you
makes me
20
think-
minutes of retrying to get the RNG to get
So-
him to get the stack, that's only 20 minutes of retrying.
should
That's
we
a lot better than a lot of runs are.
should we clarify for people listening at home that maybe don't know what the B1 bug is right now? 'Cause
Oh, sure.
We're talking because we know. So
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
but maybe not everybody at home knows. Garth, do you want
When
to
you
take
get
the
to
lead
a-
on this? Or Wolfie, you're talking. Go.
I would say when you get to like the space stage thingy, if it's B1's turn, when he gets to go and swap back to the space stage, there's the one ability which takes you back to the battle, and then you go back to the space, and then back to the battle, and back to the space. And you're building up B1 stacks while you're going back to battle and back to the space and back to the battle and back to
Infinitely.
the space. And you just get 1,000 stacks and then just go and annihilate people. So
Yeah.
it takes you a little while, but once you get to that point, you sort of just win.
B1 ramps like offense and potency, doesn't he? For all based on his number of stacks. So if you get like 1,000 stacks, he's got crazy levels of offense
Yeah.
and just one taps everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a mechanic I don't know how they fix without either outright banning B1 from the raid, or just letting it go and calling it a day.
I think in the short term they just ban B1, and then when they figure out how to do the thing where you pass between the ground and the fleet without ramping stats on B1, then they'll re-allow him. But honestly, they'd have to be pretty quick at fixing B1. Because even though I say nobody uses B1, I bet that there's some people that do just to have a full team, and they're going to bring out the fire and pitchforks if they're like, "What do you mean I can't use my Relic 7 B1?"
Well, and that's the problem though, is that because of how they coded the the ability use there, I don't know how they backpedal it without causing problems. So it's like there was 100% intentional for them. Because the reason why I say this is because if they could have done it without it consuming the turn for the character that uses the ability, then why not just start the raid with that effect? So that's where I think that they don't have a way to unscrew this.
The easiest thing they could do would be like to put a cooldown on the ability.
But it defeats the whole purpose. Just take away the ability to go back to ground. Like
if you can only go back once, it's like, oh, I forgot once, I can go back once. Otherwise, the ability is on cooldown.
Sure, but I don't know how they do that either, because none of those abilities have cooldowns. They all have one-time use.
Yeah, so just change it to have a cooldown. The basics. Put a cooldown of 2 on it. You know, it'll be good for the one turn, and use it the next turn, and you're all set.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be simple enough, I would think. I don't know shit about coding or how that would work, but
yeah.
I mean, that seems to be straightforward enough to have a cooldown on the ability.
Yep.
That's a possibility.
So you can't spam it.
Yeah. If they can't figure that part out though, then I like you said though, it still takes a bit of RNG to make it stick, and you still have to have him survive. You can't one man at Relic 9.
No, of course not. He's not going to have the DPS to clear through to
minimum,
wave 3.
Yeah, because it requires a separatist leader minimum, so you can't not take in somebody like that. And then surviving to that point, I think the most consistent runs still require a 5-man team to get there.
Well, I mean, his stacks ramp based on the number of separatist allies as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the more separatist allies you bring in, the quicker that ramping process is. I know that's a very pernickety point, but if you've only got one separatist ally, it's going to take you a while to get to 1,000 stacks. And
so his stacking for separatist allies is only with his special.
Is it?
I pulled up the unique just to take a look at it, but it's at the start of B1's turn. He gains 3 stacks of droid battalion. Not extra stacks for that. It's just at the start of his turn. His special is the one that gives more stacks for the separatists.
Yeah.
So you're just gaining 3 stacks every time.
Gotcha.
So you're getting to 1,000. I mean, you're clicking that button a lot of times.
You're clanking that a lot of times, boy. I tell you. Yeah.
Yes, that's a carpal tunnel situation right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, the other side of it, if they did leave it, which would be amazing if they did, is you could actually run 2 separatist teams, right? Because you could just have a full droid separatist team with Stap, and then you could have the Dooku Newt Maul setup, and you could have 2 setups, and that would be kind of cool, and then people wouldn't have to run like Keller and Beck or Lumi.
Or you could you could put Cam with Lumi and basically auto the fight at that.
But I'm not relicking up my Lumi. Fuck that. She's staying at R5. She's not getting touched again.
You want a Relic 9 Lumi?
Only if you're going to give me yours, Wolfie, okay?
Yeah, so that's
the only way that's out.
I don't think it requires a separatist leadership, though.
I'll trade you.
Hang on, you want something in return? How dare you, Wolf? You're like, I'll trade you. I thought we were just having it for free, for funsies. But they were jibber-doo-boo. Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I think they probably, like, I can get behind the B2 thing staying the same. You know, I think that was a smart move by CG to keep that B2 thing rolling, but I don't know.
It requires a team of 5. Like, I that's the thing, is I think either way, if you're still investing into 5 characters, I don't see that they give a care. Unless they fundamentally change another mechanic of the raid to make other things easier, because it's like at this junction, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you fix one problem, but B2 basically, if you just help him target a little bit, like that team at Relic 8 just full autos the tier.
But
kind
that's
of place
the
like
thing,
Gungans.
that team
pretty close.
Relic 8. Like if you're investing to Relic 8, like that's where the team is overperforming. It's overperforming at the Relic 8 tier. If you're investing to Relic 8, I don't think CG minds all that much.
No, they
don't.
really don't.
I mean,
because you can do it at R7 and R5, it's just not nearly as consistent, because you're more dependent on your Maul and Sidious critting and ramping offense in those tiers than you are in tier 8. But again, it's the same problem. Either team is still going to require a mostly like complete team to get to that junction. You just can't half-ass it. You can't take 2 people in and get there. Like B1 gets 1 turn of like attacks into him, or like 1 round of all of the attacks hit B1, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So you have to probably have B2 and Maggie there just to help eat the incoming fire.
And then, like you said, you need to hope that the B1 gets the actual turn.
Well, if you mod him for blazing fast speed, when they reorganize the turn meter, he should consistently go first.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Bro, that's been so random for me. Like, there's sometimes, like, I'll go to the next phase, and it's like my fastest person on the team is sitting there in the last somehow, and then like my slowest character has the ability. Like, it seems very random.
The only time for me that Padawan Obi-Wan is faster than Queen Amidala is if I end the previous wave with the first special, which gives me the extra 100 speed. That's the only time I've had Obi-Wan outrun Padme. Every other time it's Padme goes, Qui-Gon goes, Obi-Wan takes a turn. So
that's fair.
But again, the other thing too, in the Wolfie's point more particularly, is that it's not every wave that they reorganize turn meter.
Every other wave, is it?
Something like that. It's inconsistent that the turn meter gets reorganized, because I've had it somewhere it's like it doesn't change and everything plays out perfectly fine. But then there's others where it's like, well, this sucks.
What are we doing?
Or, like my personal favorite is when Padawan Obi-Wan takes the bonus or gets to go first after you start the wave with the ship portion. So he loses all of his buffs that he had on him.
That's always tremendous. I love
Oh my god. I just
but like in the Lumi team.
Yeah, so many things I wish they would let you, like you said in your video, I wish they would let you treat that ability like an alt charge.
Yeah.
And you get to activate it when you're ready to activate it, and not get on demand.
Yeah. It's even if maybe it would just have to be only available on, I don't know if they can do like an alt charge with a leadership ability, because they could change the fleet thing to be a leadership ability that charges like an alt. No, because they can definitely do that, because they've got it for galactic challenges.
Well, they've done it with Leia too.
What do you mean?
When Leia had her kit reworked for the raid, it changed how our alt meter charged.
No. I mean the fact, if we treat it like an alt, that it can be used by anybody. But I mean, they've done it for galactic challenges with that.
They have it in Rise of the Empire.
They do it in
exactly.
in the TP. All the event abilities.
It's definitely possible that they could change it like that. It's just whether or not they want to. And I don't know if that might interact a little bit weird with, going to space and coming back down. Again, it might like reset the ult meter when you go back, and then you screw yourself or something, like, who knows.
Well, but then you just don't. But then if you have the choice of when you go up, maybe you just get rid of the ability to go back down, and you go, okay, well, you're choosing when to activate this instead of it being your only option.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be ways and means.
Because I mean, I've had teams, like especially on the Lumi run, where I just happen to be a little slower than the opposing team at the start of like wave 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the counterattacks kill like everybody almost before I can even go up into space. It's like, well, now this feels like a wasted turn. Yeah. Because I can't use the effect anymore because everyone's pretty much dead.
Yeah. Big Sag.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, big Sag.
So yeah, I definitely think that the raid team needs work. The raid mechanics in general need work.
The raid team. You said it right the first time.
Yeah, all of the raid teams, they all need work.
It's just the RNG.
I mean, the team making the raid. Needs work.
That's the big thing. It's just the RNG. Get rid of some of that RNG, make it a little bit more consistent, then it's fine. I don't like you said in your video. Like I don't mind it like it being challenging and taking more time if the right strategy nets me a one and done victory. Yeah. But you know, it's like it was fine in the Crate Dragon raid to have this because you knew within like 30 seconds if you were going to start over or not on most of your runs. Where it's like this one is just like every run is like, well, you know, you got the first wave down good, but then the fourth wave went down really crappy, and then you know
it gets so much worse because the later waves have got more units. Yeah. If you get a string of bad RNG, that can cost you 20-30% in rage. You're like, well, I'm completely fucked.
Yep. or the wrong person gets like if a Droideka picks up a DI and then you're just stuck waiting for cooldowns.
Yep.
Like, oh, this is cool.
Bonus turn goes over there.
The fact that for whatever reason, like 2 or 3 droids evade Obi-Wan's AoE for no good reason, and you're just like. All right, well, now here's 5 extra turns trying to kill you 3. Like, this is
because they just keep killing each other up, and you just can't make any progress. And it's infuriating. There's many times we'll be doing this raid, and I'll just be in like
not
halfway through wave 2, and it's like, nah, fuck it, no,
we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, honest to God, I can't wait till the guild average gets up.
Didn't go great. All right, back it up. All right, didn't have a good opener, and back it up. It's crazy.
I am looking forward to not having to max anymore. That's where I'm at. Like right now, our guild wants to push for max crate, which we're only going to get there quickly if we're maxing.
Yep.
But you know, my main account maxes at 14.4, and my alt maxes at 12.6, and it's still just like it can be like a couple attempts on Lumi. Like that was my main account, like 2 or 3 attempts on Lumi, and it was done. I think Keller and Beck was 2 attempts. You know, Gungans and Separatists were 1 attempt each, no big deal. And then, you know, you get to Queen Amidala. This time it wasn't as bad, but it still took me like 45 minutes to get a solo QA run done.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
But, you know, and then like, I think with your new setup for the Queen Amidala run, having R2 there has made it more consistent for me.
Oh, really? Cool.
Well, you just mod him for a crap ton of offense and call it a day.
I mean, that is kind of... I feel like that's the shtick for the entire raid. Is you must do shitloads of damage. Like,
but it helps because you can cleanse the protection disruption on your counterattacks and attack of the turns. So it kind of gives you it gives you a little bit of help on some of that stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it does help a little bit. I found that having him just as much offense as you can get, and then being the slowest on the team, it didn't interfere as much.
Genuinely, I think at R9, if you have a full 5-man team, you can actually take the modding approach differently, and you can mod your Padawan Obi-Wan to actually crit, so you're not dependent on that advantage. Because he gains 25% crit chance for each GR ally. So if you go in with a full team, he's gaining 100% crit chance, and he's got like 80% base. So if you modded him for like 120, 130% crit chance, and took a full team in, and had R2-D2 giving him an extra crit chance, I think he gives extra 10% or something. I think he could actually crit very reliably without the need for advantage, and that should make that run a hell of a lot easier, potentially even a full auto. But I ain't fucking taking a full team to R9.
And that's the thing, is like, honestly, if they just didn't have that, like some of those mechanics be that RNG based, I think it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, but I think when they did all their testing, they were just like, oh, well, everyone's gonna take a 5-man team, and I'm like, you guys need to understand how we play this game, which is we try to get in through the barest requirements possible. And the only reason people are doing the R9 run right now is because they gave us the assault file that's like, well, if you R9 Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, then you'll get some additional benefits. Everyone's like, well, okay, like I'll take some free gear. But
they would still do it for me otherwise.
But outside of that, there's just no reason for it. So it's like, I just kind of get stuck on that. It's just like, you know, I wouldn't mind doing it, but like at this point, my only R9s left are characters I would not want to R9 for this raid. So it's like your GR factions are spread pretty thin, making Lumi and who is it?
Keller and Beck.
Keller and Beck functional. So I feel like there's not really a good way to go, because like the only other option is to Jedi Guardian or Consular as your last, or ETH Koth. Those are your three options left after the two ideal teams are in place.
Yeah, that ain't happening, Captain.
Not
just not doing them. I'm just not doing it.
It's like I just would have a hard time with the sales pitch on that one. It's like, I get where you're coming from, but no.
I see what you're throwing out. Yeah. No, it's definitely not happening on my side. I'm done with raid investment as well. I score 11.1, and for me to hit the max personal crate, like, it would be nice, but it's just not worth the investment. I need to do 2 teams up to another tier, and I'm not doing Lumi. I'm pretty clear on me not doing Lumi is the way forward. Which would mean I'd have to do the Separatists, which is not terrible, but I still don't want to relegate Sidious, and I don't want to relegate Darth Maul, and I don't really want to relegate Stap. Or taking the Gungans to R9, and it's like, that's okay, but I don't really want to do a whole team of Gungans to R9. It's a lot. It's just painful, dude. I'm just like, there are no good choices for me, I feel. The Keller and Beck team is okay to relegate, but it's not enough. I need more than just a relegate team. I need to do 2. So, yeah, pain.
I feel like that's just the never-ending cycle of where we're at right now. Is that like everything is like, if you want to get just a little bit more points, you got to put a lot more effort into it, and I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that. Because we talked about this earlier, just like, as much as it would be nice to get that max run, and there might come a point after enough time has passed, but the raid is still live, that you might sneak out that extra points to get them to max the personal track. But I mean, for the most part, there's just not much reason to.
No, exactly.
Besides the title, and it's like, okay, well, it's just a title. Like, who really?
It's a title I'm never gonna wear. So,
yeah, there's that too. And so I just feel like there's. If they're going to do the raids like this, where they're going to pump out a new raid every 9 months, then I feel like the time investment can't be ludicrous.
No, agreed, yeah.
And that's where we're at right now. Is the time investment for this current raid is like, we went from like 25 to 30 minutes of basically just playing the game on half-assed autopilot.
To 25 to 30 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you get really bad RNG, I mean, there's lots of people who are taking up to 6 hours for their raid runs, and I'm like, that's just too much time. Like,
it is. It's way too much.
I don't mind.
I did like 2 fucking hours the other day for a single run. It was stupid.
Yeah,
it's too much time.
It is not okay.
It shouldn't. It
is not.
It is not okay. More than an hour to do the runs.
Yeah. Not okay.
And we're blown way past that, and I would love to see some change on that. And they don't have to do a lot to change on it, and that's the thing too. I would maybe understand this level of RNG and annoyingness if there was a new crate reward that was worth pushing for the extra headache, or a higher tier personal track, where there was definite benefit to pushing those teams beyond the fold. But just to go back to where you were, it's like,
it's
like,
a tough pill to swallow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to like do a load of investment to stand still.
Exactly. So I don't see how I think they should really backpedal a lot of the stuff. I know they're doing it for the beginning tiers, but I feel like if they made some of the changes that we've suggested here on the podcast, and then you suggested in your video, that you would make the experience far more palatable. And I think that's going to be bigger for players, because I know of a lot of people endgame that are quitting in droves because of the raid. They just don't want to spend 2 to 3 hours every week on a raid.
And you can't blame them, really, can you?
You can't blame them. No, like I'll do the Gungans on auto haphazardly, and but like for me, it's like I'll do like maybe 4 or 5 runs with the Jedi, the GR Jedi, and if I can't hit it, then I just wait because I do the QA team in its own separate day now. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait.
Like, I need some time to properly put aside for this one.
Yeah,
you really do.
But that's how dumb it is. Like, it's because like I was doing it the other day. It's just like 4 runs in a row. I got to wave 2.
Yeah.
Where the Queen Amidala used her basic, and then either the B1 commander took the bonus turn, or Qui-Gon moved second, and then he took the bonus turn after Qui-Gon. It's just like, well, that runs over. Like, all my effort to get my 10 stacks of Queen's protection, and then like next wave gone, doesn't matter, don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is super annoying. And then even if you get past that point,
I mean, that's not fun for you?
Depending on how wave 6 comes in, like, if it's not a charge droid, you can get kind of screwed up on the clearing of things. And if for whatever reason you don't resist provoke, like, you have so much tenacity on that team, and if you get provoke when those staff droids come out, it's like the run's over. They get one shot at Kenobi and he's dead. And I've actually had runs where, for whatever reason, don't know why, the droids just blow down Kenobi like on wave 3 or 4. It's just like, oh, well, that was cool. I'm glad I get to start over now.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, you don't find that fun? It's not
no.
You don't like spending hours in the raid? No.
No. I could think of things akin to torture that I would find more enjoyable than the raid. I think nothing in this game has spiked my blood pressure more than just shit RNG in the raid.
Well, yeah. If you want to see a grown man come and yell at a computer screen, watch my raid streams.
Do you want to watch a grown man cry?
Honestly, I make sure I'm doing my raid attempts when my wife's not home. Because she would be like, just the yelling. Oh, dude, yeah. Just the frustration venting.
You need to quit this game.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what she would say to me.
Love it.
Like the frustration levels. Like I'm just venting it vocally, but it's just like, you know, if she was home, she would be like, "What the hell's going on?" Like,
she'd be like phoning her mom, saying, "I'm really worried."
Not wrong.
So angry.
Yeah, so it's not great. I don't think that's a way to play this game. So I feel like they need to adjust that a little bit differently.
Either way, you know, CG has heard our feedback on this. They understand our frustrations. I know that the lead designer of the raid has been made aware of our frustrations. So it's really in CG's court now if they're going to change anything outside of the lower tiers. Now, I wouldn't hold my breath, personally. I don't think
I wouldn't either, but again, I don't know why they care to make it that difficult. Like, again, if there was something worth fighting for, I wouldn't mind it.
You'd think they would just want people to invest in the teams so that higher relic levels equals more reliable runs, right?
Yeah.
You'd think that would be the case, but even at Relic 9, it's still bloody hard. So
well,
and
the thing is, too,
with the crate raid, like, you get your Tuskens to Relic 7, and suddenly the team, was just like nice and
magically
easy.
Performs better.
It was like you hit the Relic tier, and yes, it was very clear. Hey, we are telling you to hit this fucking Relic tier, and once you spend enough money, you will pay to win. And we'll put this on easy mode. And it was, it was blatant. It was understood. And, we dealt with it. And, I at least respected them for being upfront about it. Over here, it's just like, no, you got to invest, but also it gets harder when you go up there.
Yeah.
And I brought the Lumi team to Relic 8.
Yeah.
Like, they were easy at Relic 7. At Relic 8, I had to remod everybody because there was so much worse.
That was the point I was going to bring up next. Is even with the Relic tiers, every single team needs to be remodded in order, apart from Gungans. I guess you could argue Gungans you don't need to remod. If you just got semi-decent mods on them, you just kind of go.
Yeah,
right?
If you got decent mods on place,
they're fine.
Let's be honest, the majority of the player base does not pay for hot utils to remod their accounts, right?
No.
Most people don't. It's only the sweaty tryhards that really will pay a third-party platform. And realistically speaking, that should not be a requirement. It should not be an expectation of the player base to subscribe and pay money to a third-party platform to make remodding for the raid palatable. Yeah. Because I don't care about remodding. It's a click of a button for me. yes, it costs credits, but I don't care, right? Whereas most players, actually remodding to the depth that you need to for this raid is both cumbersome and time consuming and just adds to a layer of, I really don't want to fucking do this.
But it's not even remodding that's the problem.
It's shifting them back.
It's not even that. It's
No?
it's the mod depth requirement as well.
Oh yeah, well there is that, yeah.
Because
you do
it's
need
like,
good mods.
do you have for Darth Maul the Relic 7 and Relic 8 tiers, you need a lot of good crit chance secondary mods.
Yeah,
it's and then a lot of the
with offense.
with Lumi and Keller and Beck teams though, like you need a ton of offense primaries, and people just don't farm them that way anymore, or it's harder for earlier accounts to have access to it. It's like it's too, for the rewards that we get currently, it's too many hoops to jump through for basically a few extra arrow magnifiers. And the way I look at it from the perspective of what CG's done thus far is that the ROI for maxing out the raid is kind of falling apart because you're having to invest. It was fine for Speeder Bike because the fact that you had a lot of good characters with good team support coming up that made it palatable, right?
Yep.
But then this one, you have so much trash that you have to bring up to do a decent run that it's like, okay, why is it a relic check and a mod check and an RNG check? It's like we've got too much going in for the return on investment. I don't understand their philosophy on that. I would love to see or have a conversation with them to understand what the point was, because their new raid structure, if you wanted to go back and do a triumvirate raid again, I would be okay with that level of difficulty because it's a group effort.
It was great. It was the best raid they've ever done,
and it's a lot of fun. The mechanics were challenging but interesting. It's now it's just well, there's no strategy, there's no team comp, there's no real modding that's going to be functionally the greatest. I mean, there is, but
I was going to say there is, but it just kind of gets screwed over by RNG.
But I mean,
you know what
I guess
response response.
Get good.
Oh, we made the farming easier. I mean, look at the new marquee structure. We made it so much more accessible for you to get both Gungans and Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan, and Queen Amidala was a conquest unit.
But
so get good.
They have the audacity. They have the audacity to try to tell you that R9s are easily acquirable.
Yeah,
and it's just they're not. For a lot of people, they do have some droid brains in the bank because of the fact that they have not been equipping very many of them. But it's just you honestly have the balls to tell me that this run will be just fine if you just R9 the full team, and I'm like, do you not understand how expensive that is? Well, it's just too expensive. They have not opened up enough mechanics to even make R8 is infinitely better than it used to be. I won't argue that.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you want me to be pushing more and more R9s, the influx of that material has to be higher. And it's not. You can't even purchase enough arrow magnifiers a week to R8 a character from the weekly store.
No.
Which is stupid. It's the same thing with droid brains. Why is it still only 5 droid brains in the store? If your guild loses every TW and you are reliant on the weekly purchases, it's that's only 24 droid brains a month. It's going to take you 6 months to get the team.
Yeah.
For one team to just do the R8 to R9s, let alone everything else you need for the investment. And it's I don't think they have a real good sense of where the bottlenecks are and what people are going to be willing to do to overcome them. It's if the bottleneck is hey, spend money to get there, you know 80% of the player base is going to go, you know what, I'm fine with second to max box. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
No big deal.
It's only one raid. Yeah. I got it for the next raid.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that was the answer for a lot of people on this raid. They just went, well, you know what? we can't make it work. We're just gonna say write this raid off. We'll do the minimum requirement. and then we'll go work on the next one.
And I honestly can't blame people for wanting to take that approach.
No,
Absolutely can't blame them at all.
And
100%. I mean, this race, it's not good.
No.
But that's just
yeah.
it's just so dumb that's the approach people are taking. Like you have missed the mark on something when the majority of the player base is saying screw it, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, hence why
But
they're
it's the
looking
best
at that
rewards
low
in the
tier.
game.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. So, I'll never be that guy. I'll always be the guy that's trying to be sweaty try hard, but
Oh,
I can
got
understand
the
why
max
people-
grade,
Says-
so
says-
yeah.
Says the guy
But
waiting.
I
to the left.
understand. I still empathize.
hey, I still do it, Karth. I just can't be asked to do it, all right? I have the same frustrations as everybody else, but I still score max. So, well, no, I score my max.
Yes, your personal max.
My
Yes.
personal, the personal max that I can score, which is still decent, 11.1 is okay. I'm not going to be mad at 11.1.
I mean, again, it's
That's better
over
than most
it's
of the player
guild.
base.
It's the guild threshold. Like that's all you really have to care about for the max box.
Well, it's 500k over the guild threshold, so
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm just happy when
Better than most of the player base.
I'm just happy when this need for perfection goes away and I can just go back to scoring like 12 and a half and calling it a day, like just
Which
enough
is still
to max the
well
first.
above the max, so people shouldn't
Yes.
be,
Well,
the-
12. It's what 12.15 is the personal track.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like as long as I can clear that, like I'm fine. I'm gonna quit. I'm like, oh look, 3.3 with Queen Amidala this time. Oh well, don't care.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna come back and try this again.
I'm okay with that score. Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather do that than spend another 20 minutes trying to get it done. So, I
Or-
get you.
Hours.
Yeah. 4
I mean,
hours
well, like,
later.
We had Guildmate Evo. I mean, it was 6.5 hours to get the Separatist run.
Oh my... Seppi's never taken me that long. What
Well,
relic tier is he doing?
I think R7 with Darth Maul trio. I think is what it was. But
It's usually
I mean,
like 1 or 2 runs for me, but...
well, and again, it's just
I suppose it's
sometimes R-
RNG. Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes it
Sometimes
just kicks you in the
RNG
dick.
just likes to say, "Hey, not today."
Mhm.
Honest to God, it's the reason why I like. If I get like too many, like just like middle fingers in a row on a run, I just go to the next team.
Yeah.
Man, I don't care about putting the mods back on you in like 20 minutes. We're just gonna say we're done with the Lumi team. We're gonna try the Keller and Beck team. I find that the Keller and Beck team is
For mental health reasons, you need to.
more consistent run. But yeah, exactly. Wolf is just like no.
Not today.
I'm gonna yelling at the screen for no
Yep.
good reason. I'm just gonna be down. I'm done. I'm gonna go take a break.
Yeah.
Yep. Go for a walk.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Grass.
Yeah, yeah. Literally go stare at the wall for a little bit because I can't even.
Yeah,
I would rather do that.
I would literally rather go to the store, buy a bag of sand, throw it in my backyard, and then pound it, as this would be a more productive use of my time.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. You would not be wrong with that. Yeah. So Sector 7 is saying that he doesn't have time to remod your teams for everyone, and that's absolutely true of people that don't use hot utils.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
If I didn't have Hot Utils loadout saved for it, then it would be an absolute pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It was. I could get away with it in the speeder bike raid because it was only 4 mod sets. You had Leia's mod set, and then you basically had a mod set that covered the trooper, the ally, and the rebel, and that was it. Like that's all you had to do to get a good score.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, no, every team requires very intricate modding. Some of it's like similar ideas, but the thresholds are slightly different on speed and like crit chance, things like that.
yeah, and offense thresholds for like
Yeah.
Imperial troopers because they've got different bonuses to offense on their leadership, stuff like
Yeah.
that. But...
Well, I was talking about the Naboo raid.
Oh, sorry,
Every-
I thought we were doing.
No.
Endor.
Endor was just easier to have a kind of a one size fits all or one size fits most mod
Yeah.
set, where it's like this one is like, no, every team is pretty intricate. You have different
Mhm.
requirements and thresholds you're looking for, different things you're trying to exploit on the team.
Yeah.
And it's just it requires you to go back and forth on your mod sets and loadouts for
It
what
does.
you're doing.
It does. And like you said, you need so much offense for this raid, just in general. You need lots of fast defensive mods essentially.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you struggle to kill the enemy fast enough, and that's very frustrating.
Yeah, and that's where like having like R2 with your Queen Amidala team helps for if you're having a problem with the mod portion of it. But overall, it's still not great because then it's still a fourth character that needs a good offense set, because like Qui-Gon needs one, and Padawan Obi-Wan needs one, then R2 needs one, and then Queen Amidala doesn't quite need one, but you still need kind of like a speed offense setup for her, and any extra offense you can get on her is really helpful. It's like, it's just like, if it's not primaries or sets, it's secondaries. It's like, you guys really overestimate what the average character is willing to, or what their mod depth really is.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's so many people that come in my comment sections for my videos, and they say, I just do not have the mod depth to try and make this work. And I completely understand, because none of them is easy. I try to give them general guidance on where they need to get to, but sometimes in this raid, like, if you, like, even the general guidance is a case of you do kind of need to hit this, otherwise you're just not going to kill that B2, or you just won't crit frequently enough. And that's just...
It really just is that threshold.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you can't get it, sorry. You're just gonna have a bad time. If you have not been... It's one of those things that, again, if you have an older account, if you've been focusing on your mods a lot, if you've been really like building up those offense mods, those offense, like all the stuff I've been running, then you're probably going to be okay. But newer accounts, anybody who's been focusing more on like, just speed chasing as opposed to offense, sort of stuff, then
which most
you
people
may have
will.
some trouble.
Yeah. Most people, like,
I see that
it's the
a lot
guidance.
of times.
Most content creators give guidance on this sort of thing, and I'm guilty of it. I tell everybody, like 90% of the time, all you need is speed mods. Because it's true. It's like, you do mostly just need speed mods, but this raid in particular shows how important offense percentile mods are. And trying to get... It's hard enough getting a 25 speed secondary mod, let alone a 25% speed secondary mod that also has 6 or 7% percentile offense. It's like, that's bloody hard, and really a high level of expectation for the average player to try and hit.
If you've been focusing on mods and everything, I try and recommend to get as many, like, focus on secondaries and stuff. So I'll like bring up mods that I have no business leveling up. I have just absolutely no reason whatsoever. It'll have like 10 speed, but it'll have like a 3 offense roll. So I'm like,
I mean, I would do that.
Bring it up. Yeah. And we'll just get like, it'll stay at like 10 speed for the whole time, but it'll have like 7% offense. So I'm like, you know what? I can combine that with like a slightly faster offense mod, and we'll be okay. It balances out a little bit.
And
it's not
ultimately that might be a great mod after some calibration. You might get rid of some of that flat percentile, flat protection, and roll that into some speed when you've got that 7% offense, and you're laughing. Yeah.
Bro, calibration has been game.
I love
Except
calibration.
when it rolls fucking defense into goddamn defense, I want to go slap and
gives you less.
Even more.
Unless it's flat like, defense
thank you. I absolutely
defense.
wanted, less fucking flat protection on my goddamn. Yeah, you're an asshole.
Oh, dude, I kind of was a little upset with CG that they didn't allow you to be more selective on the calibration, because it's already an incredibly taxing system with how much I kind of wish it would actually just like it wouldn't jump as aggressively on attunements, but I mean it is what it is, right? We can't fight that. But they did make calibrating a lot more overbearing than it needed to be. I get that you don't want to make it so that everybody can have full rosters of plus 30s on
it should still matter, right?
Yeah, it should still matter, but I feel like they should have at least put in a system where you can't re-roll the same one, and then...
Well, it would be nice if you could choose to just re-roll the same stat or exclude the same stat. Even if they took different materials, that would be nice.
That's where I was going to go with that. It's like they should have been like, you can choose to re-roll this column, like take one and re-roll it and see what you get. or you can roll away from this column and then it goes to one of the other 3. I think that would have been a better system. Still RNG, but it's less likely that you're going to sit there and go, well, I've got 4 rolls of flat defense on this plus 15 speed mod. It'd be really cool if I could get some of them to go somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, but we're going to spend the first 3 re-rolling flat defense to flat defense.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, now I need to spend 60 calibration mats or whatever it is in order to take this up to maybe hit speed. It's off-putting. It's off-putting.
Yeah.
It's off-putting. The pudding has officially gone off. But on the whole, I will say that I do love calibration. So.
I mean, it's a good mechanic to have, especially after the 6A modding was the ability to keep going in. I mean, and they could, in theory, just go to 5 or go to 7E, and then we get more attempts at perfecting mods again. Yeah. And that's another way you could do it, because then you could wind up 3 stats being maxed out. So the odds are that the further you progress on the road, the more likely you're going to get. Yeah. Something that's going to work for your roster.
I don't think we'll ever see 7A modding.
But I have my doubts too, to be honest with you. But a man can dream.
I mean, it would shift focus on to secondaries really heavily, because you'd start to want to only have mod sets with it has to have speed, it has to have offense percentage, and then it has to have health percentage and protection percentage. You'd only do very perfect, all secondaries perfect sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, to a degree though. I think CG would be okay with that, because
probably
it would be far more people spending way more time perfecting mods into these just monsters that are oh yeah, I've got this square that has 15% health protection or protection percentage, and then 9% health. In your tanks would just be astronomical, because they would gain tons of percent secondary off of those stats. It could, I mean, it just another way of progression. I feel like that would be a far more suitable form in my head than doing relic 10. So yeah. I would take one over the other, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So
although I would feel bad about all the mods that I've already calibrated.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Legitimately, once you start bringing them up to the next level, then you're sort of running out of slots that are not open. You know?
Yeah.
You don't have many, when you go and calibrate a mod at that level, you have many other options. You can go and calibrate your speed back into speed and have a pretty good chance of that actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Calibrate and hopefully get higher speed. I've not actually got to that point where I've had 5 rolls on speed, and I've tried to re-roll one of the low rolls on that speed to try and get better speed. I've not gotten that desperate just yet.
I have done that before.
You have you? Did you actually get a good result?
I have successfully twice. One was a month or 2 ago on stream. I forget which mod it was. But the first time I did it was JML his square, because it was a 12.5% protection on the square.
Nice.
All 3 rolls on the speed. So I was like, fuck it, let me re-roll a speed and see if I can get high. I went from a 3 to a 5. So it was I got a little extra.
I mean, I'd take that.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Extra 2 speed. Why the fuck not?
But oh yeah. Nice and solid. But it's a very dumb idea, and you shouldn't do it. I don't recommend it. But also I did it and it worked out. So
I am the exception that proves the rule, guys. Screw you all.
Yeah. I think I've had it happen once or twice where it's come back, but I had one where I rolled away intentionally because it was I picked up the 1% quality roll. I rolled away, and then I spent 2 rolls trying to get back to speed to only pick up 1 speed.
Yeah, you're real glad I did this.
Yeah, not my finest hour, but it was a thing I did. So.
Just gonna grab a drink, guys. Bear with me. You can talk shit about me now.
We can chin wag about our boy Scribble. We can make fun of him for saying silly things like chin wag and other crazy. Oh, he actually left for a while. Okay.
Well, his refrigerator's not in the room. He moved.
Oh,
his
right.
It was impacting. It was impacting his mic setup on his computer.
Yeah, I think that actually I forget who said it in chat, but somebody was saying it in chat that the best one, like a battery backup sort of thing, and have it run off of the battery pack, and then the outlet would just charge the battery. I don't know how much that would be, to get something like that could actually charge.
Those things are kind of inconsistent, because if you have too large of a pull on them at once, they just trip off.
Well, you only have that one thing, plugged into it. Really, you just have to make sure that
yeah, but it's all plugged into the same. Load. It's plugged into the same circuit as the as everything else is, because I think we said earlier, is all of us upstairs plugs are on the same breaker.
Well, that's what we were saying. So it's all in the same breaker, but you have this battery pack charging. So it'd be like a trickle charger sort of thing. It wouldn't have an actual big draw itself. And then whenever the actual fridge popped on, then it would have the bigger draw, and it would be drawing from the battery as opposed to the actual wall charger over there. It wouldn't supposedly have that same high amp draw over there.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to have the computer running off of that instead of the main fridge. Though.
That could be possible over there. Just have that running off.
Because I used to have one for my computer. I had a 1 hour battery backup for my computer.
Yeah, we have them at work. We can go and save some shit just in case. Because we have power outages sometimes. So we all had to get...
Mine broke down and then screamed at me for
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they make a great noise, don't they?
I've had a few go bad. Yeah, we have them at work because we'll lose power sometimes. We have we're at the end of a fucking leg. In town, and we don't always get a whole lot of stuff. And I'll be honest, we got a lot of machines going, so we draw a lot of fucking power. Yeah, we have lost it a couple times. We all have battery backups. We can all save things for when the power eventually will go out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Were you potentially talking about my mini fridge?
Yes.
Well, we were wondering why I was talking shit about you, and I was maybe I can keep the talking shit going until he comes back from getting the drink from his mini fridge, but then you went much further.
Yeah, but it's been 48 hours since I've unplugged that mini fridge. Not once has my mic dropped. So I don't care. I don't understand how or why, and I don't really care. All I care about is that I'm now not allowed a mini fridge in my room, and that's really annoying. Because it was nice having a mini fridge.
I still think you just drill a hole in the floor and
hope my landlord doesn't find it.
You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be good. Just put a rug over it.
A really big one. Yeah.
It's a solid strategy. Might pay off.
It's a little bit of carpet. It'll be all right. They'll never notice.
How far will one man go to have a mini fridge in his room? Turns out, pretty far.
Duct tape. Duct tape. We'll put duct tape over it.
I could get a really long extension cord, throw it out the window here, window into the kitchen down below, into the kitchen, into the socket on the wall. Jobs are good, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and then we can all have cold beers. Ooh. And then I'll go downstairs, and it will have shorted the entirety of downstairs, and the fridge will be leaking, and I'll be like, wait, what? What happened?
Sounds like worth the effort to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, fun times. And the thing is I don't even know if a UPS box would actually prevent that from happening, because it's not like there's an actual power cut. It's almost like that there's just a slight lack of power temporarily. That just means USB devices don't get run. It's really strange.
Well, it's taking the actual draw from the amperage over there, so it doesn't have enough amperage left on that. So if, when it has that that max load sort of thing, if it's drawing from the battery directly as opposed to from the actual circuit, then the load will be on the battery, not on the circuit. So it won't actually affect anything. Yeah. So it'll be normally charging off of the circuit as opposed to that full load sort of thing.
Yeah, I get you.
Another option.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to have a look into that. But knowing my luck, I would invest in one and it just wouldn't work. I'd be like, God fucking damn it.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that the battery, you'd have to have a way for it to be that's the problem that I find with battery packs is that it's hard to make them the primary power source.
Instead of the backup.
Yeah. because usually when you have things plugged into like a battery backup, you have to have power failure before they draw power from it. And that would be my only thing, because I would think that you would have to have some way to separate the system in totality, which I feel like we're getting way down the rabbit hole of just like you could just walk an extra 30 steps.
It would just depend on how the actual system is set up. You have to like look at the actual details on how the thing
is
but
it's that fancy UK wiring, and I'm not gonna be asked to learn how to do it in another country. So
no, I'll just I'll the thing is my landlord is an electrician. Like the guy who built the house did all the electrics here, and he's done some fancy stuff and stuff. It's got some cool stuff, but you know, if he probably saw all the shit that's going on in the stream room, he'd probably like, this is way too much. And we're like, oh.
What you should do is just drill a hole through the wall and then put some hard conduit on the outside of the building, go down to the main floor, wherever the breaker box is.
It's like directly below me.
Yeah, so go down in there and then just feed a new circuit, and then just have a single outlet in the room on its own dedicated circuit that you can plug your fridge into.
Well, the fridge has got its own ring. It's got its own power ring just for itself.
Yeah. Just for itself.
Yeah.
Hey,
I like it.
We're solving problems, okay?
We are. We're one faulty appliance at a time. I love it. I do love it. Yeah, gosh. Yeah. So, Duff Cake, how was the hangover on Saturday? Well, I may have imbibed slightly too much on the Friday night, and I had to get up at 11 to go to town with Mrs. Scribbles, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Because you went to bed at 5 a.m. too.
I did go to bed at 5 a.m.
You only had like 4 hours. Oh, that's the worst. It's being hungover with no sleep. That's like a double whammy.
And then it's shopping in town, and you're like, I really don't want to be here.
Yeah, miserable because you can't sit still. It's always moving. You're just sweating and uncomfortable as you kick around.
But the other side of it is Saturdays is like my one day with Mrs. Scribble, where that's our day, because I content create all the fucking time and work full time all the fucking time. So Saturday is like the day that we chill. So I'm not going to be the guy that's like, yeah, we won't go to town or we won't do anything. I just want to sit at home in a dark room. You
had to rally.
I like you have to nut up and shut up. You know, it was my fault. I got myself in that situation, so I guess I'll be a man and moan quietly to myself about my problems. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't actually the worst hangover in the world. I've had worse, but I wouldn't call it fun. Is how I would best describe it. You know. So yeah. It was
just a little bit groggy.
A little bit on the groggy side, a little bit on the woozy side. But yeah, definitely had.
I mean, all it sounds like is a great excuse to go have breakfast with her on a Saturday morning before you just drop breakfast. Yeah. Nice carbohydrate, fat heavy breakfast.
I did have a Greg's, which anybody from the UK will know what that is. That's it's just a bakery. It's a chain bakery that does like cheap pasties and Cornish pasties and pizza slices and stuff like that. You know, we're talking very accessible. They're frickin' everywhere in the UK. Frickin' everywhere. So I did have some very stodgy, greasy food, which did make me feel
like old Greg's.
No, it's nothing like old Greg's. But yeah, so I think I had like a slice of pepperoni pizza, which is in like a square slice they do there. It was about this big. It was kind of nice, and I had a, I think it was a steak bake as well, because one does not go into Greg's and have one item off the menu. You usually have at least two. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah. And then, well, actually, it was before the stream. I went to see Deadpool, and that was awesome. So, can highly recommend Deadpool and Wolverine. Great.
I feel like you would have been passed out if you had gone after the stream.
I would not have enjoyed the film if I'd have watched it in that state. That's for sure.
No.
But definitely try to get around and see that, because that film was great fun. Lots and lots of fun.
Oh yeah.
Muchly recommended by yours truly. Gets the Scribble stamp of approval. Yeah. How are we looking for time? Do we have any Tribe Talks questions, perchance?
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, what's the Tribe Talk situation?
I think we had a couple, but I think it's pretty sparse.
Okay,
Well,
that's okay.
We got one question, which we definitely answered already. How should you mod for the raid?
With great pain and suffering.
Offense, all of the offense, more offense, and offense to go with your offense, and then some offense on top of that offense. With all of the crit chance in the world, depending on which character it is.
I refer you to Scribe's videos for all of those answers.
Just mimic all of my teams, and then you will be happy.
Have you done the GR modding videos yet, guides?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I did a 2-for-1 on that. I covered Lumi and...
Oh, okay.
Covered Lumi and Keller and Beck team in one video, because I didn't think they deserved a video each.
I mean, still would have gotten tons of viewership if you split them.
I mean, probably. Yeah, maybe mistakes were made. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who can say? But yeah, I've got all my videos cover modding, cover the strategy and the approach, and they do tell you in no uncertain terms that yes, this is going to hurt. It's painful, and RNG is a bitch, but nothing we can do about that. You're just gonna have to roll with the punches, baby. Roll with the punches.
Literally and figuratively.
Yep. Droidica will roll, and you will roll with the punches. So, next question. With the increased focus on the PC client, do you see the possibility of support for mobile devices being discontinued?
No.
Or is this an additional market? Fuck no, Tosh. There's no way they stop supporting the mobile app.
Fun fact, though, if they do switch to full PC client, I believe they would have to restructure how they do some of their games, because you can't have... There's things that are allowed for mobile games that are allowed for desktop.
Oh, really? Well, are we talking store things?
I believe so. I would have to go back and look at some of that stuff.
Idea.
But I believe there are things that are allowed in a mobile game that are not allowed in other environments. But I don't remember if that's entirely...
That's crazy.
Correct. I just remember when the whole thing with when EA got in trouble with the whole Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco, that there was a lot of people arguing the validity of how they allow it in some markets, but they wouldn't allow it in this game, because it's the same feature that you have in mobile games. But I know the UK went to toe with them pretty hard about getting rid of it in totality. So. Yeah. But they still allow it in mobile games.
I hadn't even thought about that being a possibility, I'll be honest. That's that's a good point.
I doubt they walk away from it, because it gives them a lot of protections. It's just like, we just gave you an ability to play it online, but we're still a mobile game.
Also, the vast majority of the player base plays on the phone and not on PC.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Just vast majority.
Like, the only people that the main reason why the PC client was a good idea for them and why they're pushing it so hard is because it's great for streamers, and they're the ones giving the initial taste of the game to a lot of potential players. And so it looking clean and neat and running smoothly and us spending less time bitching about just the game running on BlueStacks or wherever, I think is far greater in their interest than letting that be a problem for people. So I can't see them walking away from it, but they are incentivized to keep it looking nice.
Definitely. And I for one, I'm very happy about the PC client just in general, because it's done so much for us. Yeah. So, Rover comes in with a final question. Which faction would you like to see added to the game or expanded upon? So, which faction would you like to see expanded on, or what new faction do you want to see in the game? Well, for you, go first. Because I need time to think.
Or expanded upon? I mean, I feel like this is a bit of a cop-out over here, because we know that we're getting some expansion on them, but I want more UFUs, man. I mean,
that's a fair argument. Absolutely.
But again, it's a fucking cop-out, because we know we're getting more of those. Who do I want to see expanded? We don't have enough rebels, right? We always need more rebels. They're a faction we're distinctly
clearly the choice is more Ugnaughts.
More thuggies.
More Ugnaughts, yes.
Yeah.
More Ugnaughts. We don't have enough Ugnaughts.
I need Ugnaught to be on a team, and I need them to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. Stat.
Legitimately, like I think that the thing I would look for the most, like what I want them to expand on, is some of more of like the Old Republic stuff, like the Legends content, that sort of thing. I'm getting a little bit tired of all the stuff they're coming up with, like the Disney Plus whatever stuff.
Yeah.
I want some good old Legends content. I want to explore that a little bit more. You know, get an actual Old Republic team. You know, get those ones. Some more KOTOR stuff. I think that's what I want to see the most of anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
Bounders could use some love mixed with pirates. Oh man, if you give Hondo a pirate faction, I would be so happy.
Low-key surprised they didn't go down that road with Mando season 3. I really thought they might have opened up the pirate tag at that point, but it's funny that we're getting mercenary tag before we get pirates.
Bro, that was like the most random fucking thing ever. There was like the Barnacle Davy Jones who's in space somehow.
You mean seaweed Davy Jones?
Seaweed Jones, and then just it just like dies like uneventfully, and just like what the actual
like he was supposed to be like this terrifying like pirate character that like in 3 episodes was dealt with, and I'm like,
I thought he was a joke.
You guys, I felt like the Grinch made it to space and then didn't get a haircut. Like honestly, it was such an odd cosmetic choice, and I feel like they really didn't make us care about him being a villain. Besides, like the brief interactions with Grief Magistrate. Arga.
I know it sounds really odd, but because he quite literally is. He looked like a Disney villain, and I know it's Disney and Star Wars, but
from an animated show,
this is the Disney villain that turned the princess into a toad.
Yeah, he means like a Little Mermaid villain, like.
Exactly. It's frickin' Ursula.
Yeah, but green.
But yeah,
Ursula. That was a silly jaunt. They should have done a better job of making us give a care about like what was happening there. But that's been so much of the later Mando seasons. Is such a you're trying to get so much done in such a short window of time. But
hey, could be worse. Could be the Acolyte.
How about you, Cuff? I mean, yeah, it could be. I promise you, Acolyte characters will come.
Yo, real quick aside, did you guys see the pitch meeting for Acolyte?
I still not watched it. I saw you commenting. I think it was like
7 minutes of your life. It's like 7 minutes of your life.
I'm gonna watch it right after this, so no spoilers because I want to watch it and enjoy it. Whilst I'm doing my raid, I'm doing my raid runs right now as well. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've only got the Queen Amidala run to do, so it's okay. Yeah. What's your thought on a faction expansion, Garth?
So like.
Or addition.
With Wolfie was hit it right on the just took it right on my mouth. I would love to see like KOTOR 2 characters or do a lot of the important characters of the Old Republic timeline, Exar Kun and things like that. That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be like, even go with Old Republic, the actual Star Wars game, and bring some more characters from that into. I would love to see some of that. But if I wanted to go with brand new, I would love to see them kind of start developing out like the New Republic and having that as a counteract to the new Imperial remnant that we're getting with
Ahsoka's coming. What you talking about, buddy?
But we don't know where the tags are going to land.
No. Yeah. I'm just throwing my chips in.
We're still guessing.
But I would love to see them do like the Starhawk as a new capital ship, bring in the E-Wing, bring in a couple of, new X-Wings, bring in some support craft. I feel there's a lot of design space in that area that they could explore with still keeping it relatively tied to the new stuff, which feels more plausible. It's a thing I have a love-hate with when it comes to CG is that so much of their content is driven around what is in the shows that I feel like the older player base, it just gets less engaged with that. Because like, I'm not like even when we talked to this when Ahsoka was announced, I'm not like thrilled for Ahsoka. I'm excited to still get her, but it's not like, oh my god, I couldn't live without this character. It's like, well, I am ready to pursue the character, so I'm going to. I'm not going to stop on those accords. So it's like I would love to kind of get more kind of legend stuff or whatever else that just kind of I would feel better. I did tell Meathead though that next year is the 20-year anniversary of Republic Commando, and I will riot if I don't get Delta Squad plus the advisor in the game. So
I see. I think you might be doing some rioting.
I probably will, but I really
Riots
just
shall
want.
be had. I think
It's almost a year out,
And there was much rioting
since the game till the anniversary. So I was like, well, it takes you like 9 months to make the characters, so I'm sneaking this in now. Let's go.
you've got it here.
I was literally just like, don't whales get a say in what you guys do in this game? Come on. The answer is probably no, but I mean, I if you don't shoot your shot, the answer was already no. So,
Listen, Meathead, do you want another Tusken bust or not?
I mean, I wouldn't probably do another Tusken one. I would probably try to get, I would probably do something different, but I don't know what I would do yet. Probably. Oh no, I knew what I was gonna do. I've already actually found what I was gonna get. I was gonna get him a Red 5
sick
helmet.
Nice.
Like the Luke Skywalker one.
Yeah, the actual one from the episode. It's a Hasbro came out with a not a replica.
I have a Lego Red 5 helmet.
That counts.
Yeah,
that counts.
Which I still have to build.
But I was just like, this is just going to be the next thing I get him, especially if Red 5 ever comes
Wolfie's
to the game.
yeah, on the box it said 3 to 5 years, but I did it in 6 months, so I'm pretty clever. I love
it's
that
like
joke.
Hey, I stalled pretty hard, all right? Give me a break here.
Quit busting my balls.
I stall hard, but I always meet my deadlines.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the corporate world.
Yes.
Stall but
Yeah,
meet your deadlines. That's the important part.
Naturally.
Yeah. As for me, I'm not sure where I would go as far as expansion is concerned. I guess the one thing that I would like to see them do more of is more of the single unit characters. So I'm talking monstrous units. I would like
large.
Large
units.
Yeah, but almost large units that are designed to be played solo, but make them more operable than just in GAC,
Wampa
for example.
And
things
stuff like
Wampa.
that.
Yeah, things like, bring in stuff like a Tauntaun. Why not give us a Tauntaun to come in? Let us get things like the Nexu and the Acklay. Let us get those characters, unlock them for us. Call them boss characters.
I mean,
let us have a Rancor, for Christ's sake. I want to use stuff like that.
Think about it. Is the Wampa any more of a rampaging beast than a Rancor is? I mean, a Rancor, if you can control a Wampa and operate a Wampa, why not a Rancor? I'm with you.
Size-wise,
I'm with you.
A little different, but yeah, I get you. It does make
It's
sense.
in spirit.
You've already brought the beast kind of thing in there. Why not
Yeah.
just give us slightly smaller versions of those? I mean, the next two would be fine, but like the
It's already a rampaging beast. I mean, what's to say you can control a Wampa but not without a Rancor? Scribe,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I mean,
Rancor,
goddamn
make it
Boba
happen.
Fett just jumped upon its back, put a chain around it. He tamed a Rancor.
Oh my God, yes.
So
Look, they
why
have
not
already
us?
doubled down.
Whoa,
I think
whoa,
at this
hold
point
on.
that they're not doing vehicles with the SAP. So if they're going to not do vehicles with the SAP, and mounted animals might have been like vehicles, I am down to get a Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Yeah,
As
give
a
it to
single
me.
unit, I want him to be extra
single
large.
unit.
I want him to take all 5 spots.
Exactly. if it has to take all 5 spots, it has to take all 5
I
spots.
want the reverse image. I want to be Boba Fett on a Rancor, like the ATST fights we do on the Endor Escalation, where we sit where the ATST is and we just attack the bitches in front of us.
Sorry,
Yes,
genuinely, when you said you
100%.
wanted the reverse image, I just had this picture of Boba Fett carrying a fucking Rancor on his shoulder. It's like,
No.
how strong is this guy, man? Holy shit.
I mean, I have no
It's
idea.
like,
But yeah, it would be
and
fun to see.
Rancor swipe. Roar!
Boom. Yeah, definitely. Make it happen, CG. If the game is
I mean-
dying, let us have that moment.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the funny part
yes,
to me is
please.
like the Book of Boba Fett got such little like characters pulled from it. I'm really surprised they didn't do more than just the Tuskens.
It was
Yeah.
probably like one of the worst received Disney Plus Star Wars shows. So I'm not
No.
surprised.
That was the Acolyte.
Okay, it was
until the acolyte.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Until the acolyte.
Yeah.
Okay, people are saying Book of Boba was worse. I still maintain Acolyte is by far the worst.
Book of
show
Boba Fett
they
is
put out.
ruined by Disney just being stupid, not by bad writing.
No, it was bad writing too.
But
it wasn't
like I
like
said,
the worst writing. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't Acolyte level. It wasn't Acolyte.
no,
level.
yeah, there was it
Yeah.
was just the reason why Book of Boba Fett just floundered so hard was because we spent half the show with him being a Tusken, which is cool.
Yeah, the
that was,
flashback.
That was,
Yeah,
the
that's
flashbacks
what I
were
mean for
cool.
like the bad writing. The flashback scenes with the Tuskens was just the pacing and the writing of everything.
Yeah,
really was
they
awful.
should have just done it in like one episode
Plus,
and
the-
done it all. But
You
Or
also
peppered the
knew-
flashbacks around.
You
Yeah,
also knew
sure.
every single time a flashback was coming was because Boba Fett was jumping in a Bacta tank, and every
Yes.
single time I saw him get in, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like,
Like,
I don't-
not
yeah,
again.
I don't mind
But-
if the whole show was him being with the Tuskens. That's okay.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to, it like disrupts the momentum of the show completely. When you're like, "Oh, I guess
Well,
we're
yeah.
going to go back in time instead of deal with
Welcome-
the very pressing issues that we've got." Right
welcome to Acolyte,
Yeah, the
where
pacing was
2
awful.
out of the 8 episodes was reliving the same episode.
now.
Yeah.
But the
From a
but
slightly different camera angle.
yeah, but that was the thing with the Book of Boba Fett though, is that you had almost 3 episodes that were like not about him at all. It was I
Yeah.
know it was 2 for sure. I
mean,
know one
It was
full episode.
It was the best 3
It
episodes.
was like 2.5. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it was the Luke and Mando and Grogu and all their shit.
yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's like Disney. I don't know who freaked out about Grogu not being with the Mando show anymore, and then I mean, that's where those episodes came from. Was bringing Grogu back to the Mandalorian for season 3.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's
they
like-
need to sell toys.
They were like, why though? Like, there's no
Merchandise.
reason this guy should be a
'Cause-
part
'cause
of any
money.
of this. Yeah, I know that, but narratively, you know,
Because
Oh, yeah, it made no
narratively money.
sense. Yes.
Oh,
because
you need to go watch that pitch meeting so then I can quote it more.
Dude, the pitch meeting was so fucking funny.
I promise I'll watch it after this.
Well, not
promise.
just that one, like the book of, with not the book of Boba, the Mandalorian pitch meeting one.
Yeah.
You remember like the original one? There's an entire okay, so the original like Mandalorian one where
Yeah.
they're talking about Grogu and like introduce him as a character. There's an entire interlude because he like gets like flashing green dollar signs and like replace his eyes. And he freaks out about this and has like a 5-minute interlude where he like, needs to go on like a soul-searching adventure because he's just sitting there like with the green dollar signs in his
I love it.
eyes.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're
gonna make
make
so
so
much
much
money
money
off
off
toys.
toys.
Oh, it's so good. So fucking good.
Yeah.
But, like Book of Boba Fett, people hated it because it assassinated the character of Boba
It really
Fett.
did. It did.
Acolyte assassinated the character of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It just said, "Hey, the Jedi are evil and they're
Again-
incompetent, and also the Sith suck, and everyone's
It's-
a little
it-
bitch." It just
The thing with
it just
Boba
nothing
too
matters
is
or
they
makes sense, and yeah.
Yeah, Boba they could have easily salvaged for the behavior change if they had done just a little bit more dialogue and kind of set up the character to be in this weakened position. Like we see him keep getting in
Yeah.
the back of the tank, and like, okay, so while he is on the mend, he is trying to not start a war in this town that he now claims dominance over. Like you could make it make sense,
Mhm.
but it's like the Kenobi show. Kenobi is a frail, unwilling shell of a Jedi in the first like 4 episodes, and then somewhere in the middle of the series he's like, nah, just kidding.
I'm really
like,
fucking strong.
Yeah, now I'm gonna just go space Jesus on you and throw a bazillion rocks at him like it's
I'll be
nothing.
honest, I thought that moment was cool, and then it got completely ruined by the rocks looking like they were just made of cardboard and just bouncing off Vader. I was like, oh.
They were
Well-
absolutely like plastic paper mache. Like
'Cause
what the
it-
fuck
Oh, yeah.
is this? This just
Why didn't
Why do you think the lighting in that scene was so shit? Like
What
they
is-
couldn't
what is-
hide it
what is even-
otherwise.
they just needed
What's he
to make
even
those
doing?
rocks literally crush Vader? Like have him crushed
Yes.
under a pile of rocks. Make it cool.
do
Make it break his
any
suit.
amount of
Like,
damage.
instead of just going
Yeah.
woof, blunk, blunk. It's like
Just-
what the fuck?
Yeah,
Have
no, it's just
some amount of impact.
yeah. That was just
You
that was
know?
just the whole thing though. The whole thing was just I don't understand why they are just determined to ruin characters because they want to have like it's like we have to intentionally kick you in the balls to then make your story development work. And I'm like, that is dog shit writing. Like, oh well, you know, reasons. And then anyways, this girl survives being stabbed like 4 times by the lightsaber.
Because
and then
revenge
somehow
is a powerful motivator, didn't you know?
Yeah, then somehow travels the galaxy with no ship access to that was known of, faster than Kenobi. Like that's weird. That's interesting. Cool mechanics. I'd love to know how you blinked across space that quickly.
So the plot can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Anyways,
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off of my back on this.
Yeah.
I gotta make it off of that thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I don't understand how they thought that this was gonna just go. Like they keep going, oh, well, it's the toxic fan base, and I'm like, no, it's your dog shit writing. Like I don't mind a lot of the new Star Wars stuff. It's not, you know, not all of it's my favorite, but it's like it's so much of me was like what was left on the editing floor, because there are so many scenes that would make much more sense for a character to behave a certain way if you had like 15 seconds of dialogue to explain what the hell was happening. Like
this was the first draft of the script, and they needed to like go back to the drawing board and like re-edit and re-edit and re-edit. But this was like the first edit, and they were like, first draft, cool, you nailed it, I love you, you're amazing, you're perfect, and just
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I can't imagine. It's just it's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
I can't see any problem with that. And then you have the audacity of these writer teams to be like, we are stewards of George Lucas's original intent for Star Wars. My bull.
No, they're flat out saying like we're moving on from George Lucas's Star Wars. Like in some of the recent interviews and everything, like Kathleen Kennedy and whatnot has like specifically said like fuck George Lucas's Star Wars. I don't give a shit. We're moving on from that. It doesn't belong to him. This is our vision now. Like that's like very flat out directly.
Which is a
little bit rude, isn't it? A little bit rude.
Which is a huge stab in the back from Kathleen Kennedy to George Lucas, because that was like she was the protege, kind of, so to speak, for many years at Lucasfilm.
Unfortunately, it's a recurring theme. It's life imitating art. The protege sometimes does betray the master, and everybody gets very sad about it. So,
it would be fine if they could just write decent stories, but they can't. And
we can't do
that's
that
the part that kind of sucks. Is I was low key looking forward to Skeleton Crew.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Skeleton Crew.
Which, because I liked the departure with Mando to get away from the Jedi and the main tropes. Let's go explore the backwater parts of the world. And then now it's like there's, with the Acolyte going to hell and everything else, it doesn't look like it's testing well. Which, I mean, that could be, it's open-ended, right? Like I don't know what their version of testing well is, because you know, I don't know who thought the Acolyte tested well, but they shoved that out. So here we be. But I'm like, I like the Star Wars stories where we get away from the normal tropes of Star Wars and we move into these other characters.
Yeah, so do I. That's what made season 1 of Mando so good.
And I'm like, you can't. You gotta be kidding
characters?
me. How did you screw this up with Skeleton Crew? Because Skeleton Crew was supposed to be a lot more. Ended up being more dark, is what they wanted to go with it. They wanted to be.
Wolfie's got some angry dogs.
They're excited.
And what they need to do is they need to get Ryan Reynolds on board, and they need to do a Breaking the Fourth Wall Star Wars themed film. Okay, like just make it happen. Just, you know, he can be literally Deadpool in Star Wars. What could possibly go wrong?
So many things.
Yeah, and Deadpool and Wolverine is freaking fantastic, Bones. Like, most entertaining film I've seen all year. That's not really saying much, I'll be honest, but fucking God, I was crying with laughter. Even Mrs. Scribbles, who does not like superhero movies, was crying with laughter just at the intro. So
I definitely check it out.
Honest to God, though, a large portion of that really comes from just the relationship between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, though.
Oh, for sure.
They play it so naturally
that
it's
have such
like
great chemistry.
Yeah,
the two of them together,
it doesn't. it doesn't even separate you from what's happening. There doesn't feel like it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. It's like it's just that they took that into those characters, and they still exhibit a lot of the character features that we've seen from those characters leading up to this movie, which I think really helps kind of sell the approach. So
yeah. Oh, definitely.
They just work so well together.
They do. They really do. You can tell they're actually good mates in actual life, right? So, yeah. Hopefully, we get some more quality films coming out in the future. So, who knows? I don't know what to think about RDJ being Victor Von Doom. I'm a little bit like, no, I love RDJ. I really do. It's just, I don't know. It feels like a desperate attempt to try and revitalize Marvel a little bit. Not that they
really
need
does.
revitalizing, but it feels like a publicity grab, doesn't it? Like it's like.
Well, I mean, he's in a lot of people.
He made a big deal about being done with Iron Man and whatnot, and like, okay, well, I'm still in the MCU, just like, but like, not really.
Well,
different role, yay!
It'll be interesting to see him play a villain. To that degree, but I think.
All right, how much you want to bet they're gonna make him like say a role like along the lines of "I am Iron Man"? Like,
oh my God!
How close do you think he gets to like making a reference about that?
I am Doctor
You
Doom.
know it's gonna happen.
No.
You know it's gonna happen.
It's like if you can. Well, yeah, you're not wrong, but that's just where I'm like looking at him like. You got to learn at a certain point that cameos and nostalgia only play so far, and I feel like when you have to divert a story to make it work, it's just like you've come so far away from the point of this to, effectively make a good story now. It's like the entire like back arc of episode 8, right? Where Finn and Rose go to see, the ultra wealthy are running around playing with our lives.
That felt so
money.
fucking weird.
It was
out of
Was
context.
exactly, but it wasn't necessary for any of the story development besides that they went on their own adventure. It's just like, so you guys really know how to kill a good portion of the movie because you want to make some points about real life, and I'm like, we could have, but we could have spent way less time doing it.
Trying to fabricate a romance plotline of Rose and Finn that just
and throw it out the window.
Throw it out
the window like immediately at the end.
It was so fucking awkward in Rise of Skywalker, where you're just like, let's not even address the whole Rose Finn thing. We'll just tell Rose to look ever so slightly awkward around Finn the whole time, and for Finn to be like, I've got no interest in you, but I don't have the balls to say it, so I'm just not going to look at you. Like, it was like, what the fuck was that?
It was just such a wasted portion of storytelling when it came to that kind of stuff. But that's just where even with like, no matter what they do, is like, you kind of have to pull away from that and start going, okay, we got to quit bringing in stuff for nostalgia and move along to making meaningful developments in what's happening in the rest of our story. It's like you can't keep relying on an old character to bring in interest. It's like, but we just say no. We just forget about this and we move along.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, and I know there is a plot line where I believe there is a multiverse where Iron Man does become Victor Von Doom, but usually Marvel builds up to things like this. But I think the whole Jonathan Majors legal issues that was going on caused them to go into panic mode and have to rewrite a bunch of shit.
Yeah, the IRL should fuck with some things.
And they were like, oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. And, understandably so. I can understand why, unfortunately, when your main villain have a couple of allegations, some rather serious allegations thrown against them, then you do kind of have to reevaluate shit. But it just doesn't feel right at the moment. I don't know. So, who knows? I'll still watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'll fucking go. I'll go to the cinema. I'll watch it. But
yeah, I'm interested to see even with the Skeleton Crew, I'm interested to see what happens. I think the unfortunate part, so we've got basically this year is only Skeleton Crew and Andor season 2 and Ahsoka season 2.
Bro, Andor, people said was like slow and everything. I thought was absolutely amazing.
I think Andor season 2 is going to get throttled by the fact that they went from doing a well-paced story to now doing too much too quickly. Because they were supposed to do 3 to 5 seasons of Andor originally.
Really?
And
fuck. That's a lot.
And now it's
5 sounds excessive.
Well, that was the original proposal, and they cut it down to 3. But now they're only going to do 2 seasons. So season 2 is now cut like 12 years, something like that. Like it's going to be leading into the events of Rogue One, but you're quite far away from it where season 1 ended. So I think they said like every 2 to 3 episodes jumps like a year in time.
Yeah, I think they're doing like the 3-episode arc sort of thing, like, similar to what they did in the first season. Which I mean, I'm okay with if they can pull it off pretty well. Again, they pulled off season 1 very well. If they can do season 2 and they'll have a couple episode arcs and you have a few key points and whatnot, then I'm okay with that. Honestly, I got faith. Tony Gilroy and all of them. I absolutely have faith that they can pull it off. Like I said, season 1, they did it. They brought it. They rocked it. I'm here for it. On that note, I gotta head out. Like I said, dogs are going crazy because I got family dropping by. But
all good.
Are we wrapping up or what are we?
We'll wrap it up there.
Okay.
I don't think we had any other questions, did we?
Do we have any other questions?
No, that was the last one.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, no, we'll wrap it up here. So thank you, gents. It's been a pleasure, as always, chatting with you. Are we good for next week?
Absolutely.
Or do people have plans?
I'm here.
Let's
do it.
I think I should be good for next week.
Cool. We may have a guest in 2 weeks' time. So
2 weeks' time.
Yeah, 2 weeks' time, we should have Eggnods joining us.
Speaking of which,
Reddit
though,
fame, so.
Do you want to take a brief moment to
yeah.
pimp your, I'm assuming tomorrow's your giveaway?
Yes, tomorrow. Make sure you swing around the GAC stream, guys. We've got some really good prizes to give away. A lot of streamers have had this recently, but essentially we'll be giving out a whole vault, a couple of crates of crystals, as well as 4 hyperdrive bundles and something else that I'm forgetting. So, a Lightspeed bundle of your choice. And if you have all Lightspeed bundles, you basically get half a vault. So, booyah. Make sure you swing around to tomorrow's stream. It'll be real. It'll be cool.
To clarify for anybody who happens to be listening to this on Spotify, it will be for July 29th.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to it after that fact, then you have unfortunately missed this. But
we love you.
We appreciate your participation anyways.
And join the live streams when you can, because that's where the good business gets down. I'll promise not to get too drunk.
Well,
it's a Monday.
It's more fun that way.
Yeah. All right, gents, thank you again ever so much. Thank you, Karth, for organizing that. And we'll see you soon. Peace out, guys. Big love. Right, let me see. Who's live right now that we can
Sweens. We're fucking raiding Sweens, obviously
My
the
boy.
sweetest ass in the land.
Oh my god, we gotta go see Sweens. I'm gonna send you guys on Twitch over to Sweens. I don't know if he's on the tubes as well. Let's have a look. No, but we do have Rabid Beaver, who's in the middle of one of his subathons. So I will send you over to Rabid Beaver. All right, guys. It's been real. It's been sexy. We'll see you all soon. Peace.